What's up, Mr. Kevin QXC Riley? Oh, you just stepped away from the desk. Let's get everyone else in the call. Where is Socke? Oh, there he is. Of course, offline. What? The Yermans are the Yermans are kind of weird. Let's get DarkForce over here. Why is Socke not online? What is that crazy guy doing? I don't have any gradients for you guys this episode, sorry. Everyone marvel at QXC's new webcam. Hold on, let me get it up.
It's only me and you in the chat. Oh, and this is a stream, is the pre-show
Yes.
up or whatever? Okay, cool.
What's up, DarkForce?
Hello.
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 Where in the fuck is Socke? He like signed. Oh, now he's back.
Socke is a little slow sometimes.
I know.
And it's Socke, by the way, not Sock.
It's Socke, right?
Socke.
Socke?
Yes.
Can I just call him Socke, man? Can you give the
Yes, of
ignorant?
course.
Can you give the ignorant American a break?
I just thought I'd tell you. So I assume I need my webcam.
Correct. We are
Okay.
actually pushing out live right now, but the show really hasn't officially started.
Yeah, give me a moment.
Sure.
Did you... I'm looking for a tweet at me that I can retweet about this. Did you put one up?
No, I can tweet right now. Actually, we should all just here. I'm retweeting the state of the game tweet. Tweet?
Twit?
The tweet?
State of the game twit?
The tweeter? The tweeter?
Tweeter.
We get DarkForce to say that for us.
You can go on Twitter.
On the Twitter. What the fuck is Socke doing? Jeff's not even on the call. We're getting taken over by the Euros.
Taken over?
Yeah, man.
How are we taken... I don't see us being taken over.
Are you're gonna actually, you're telling me you can beat Socke one-on-one?
Sure, why not?
What's going on, Socke? Socke? Giacomo? Look at this guy lounging.
Is that good on now?
Hi, Socke. Okay, let's see whether I can get
Webcam
this
is almost
working.
as good as mine. My old one.
Socke, we can't hear you that well.
Um,
You're kind of quiet. He's so passive,
No,
guys. He's
looks
actually
like
just
a
talking in int right now.
Sounds like someone's just like hitting their microphone over and over. Like, hey guys, hey. So my new headset is wireless. It's like the coolest thing ever.
You just unplug it. Look at that shit.
Yep,
How
right
fancy.
there. Bam.
Bam.
Oh, when it runs out of batteries or when it's getting low, it starts beeping at me. So I'll be like microing a Banshee and my headset starts beeping. It's really distracting.
Nice.
Wireless hardware sucks.
You suck. 1v1 me. I'll 1v1 your wired headset with my wireless headset.
So I just run away until yours runs out of energy.
Well
No way, I'll
played.
put you in a corner.
Uh-huh.
My headset comes with fungal growth,
But are you a Terran? You don't have that.
Yeah, I just have Hunter Seeker. What a good trade.
I'd be okay if Infestors had Hunter Seeker missile.
Have you ever tried using Hunter Seeker missile?
Well, I don't play Terran, so maybe in
He's got you there.
Oh, I don't know.
Exactly.
Hello.
It's only got.
Hello.
Hello. G'day, mate.
G'day.
Socke, I don't know what to say about your Skype, man. Why aren't you talking to us, buddy? I mean, you've got the beautiful Astro A40 headset.
It's hard for me to talk.
Now I just made your face really fat, Socke. That's what you get for not talking. Let me turn on my XSplit cam.
Best picture ever is that one of Socke, and on Reddit it's like it says Socke in his natural habitat.
Oh, that was such a good picture.
He's got his hair flowing behind him and shit. I don't. It looked like you were in a
that
pageant or something.
Socke?
I thought it was the one on the concert. I never.
There
looked
might
at
be a
that.
better picture out there, but that one, if you haven't seen it, DarkForce, you got to look it up, man. It's so good.
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
No, I know the picture you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the stream though.
So I was upstairs shaving.
We're
and,
live, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just like any story that starts out, I was upstairs shaving.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it dawned on me that with all these Germans on the cast, I should probably leave a little bit just below the nose, you know?
Yeah.
But then I was
So
like...
you are the Führer?
Jesus.
But I'm blonde, so it wouldn't even fucking show.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we might just have to place. Well, I'm not actually gonna say that. I was gonna say some really fucked up shit. To fill in for Socke here, we might have to play some interesting.
I'm now
sound
watching the DarkForce lap dance. I remember this.
The DarkForce lap dance.
It's in the State of Game thread. Just check it out.
I remember that. That was it. Didn't our dear friend Take put that on?
Yep. Yeah, and then the next home store I go to, there's no frickin' strippers. What's the deal?
I don't know. I do not know. Work's gonna be in for a rude awakening when I don't make this meeting in 4 minutes. Whatever, guys. I'm sorry. So I can't use sound. What? Oh, Socke is trying to communicate with us. What do you mean you can't use that? Dude. Socke, how are you worse than iNcontroL at computers, man? Are you the German iNcontroL? Is that what you're saying right now?
We just play the game, man. We don't need to know how to work the computer.
We need to get Artosis on here.
Is he good with computers?
No, he's actually worse than everyone.
Was.
Socke, did you change in Skype the sound setting to your headset and microphone? That's probably what it is. Or your recording device. If you right-click the speakers in the bottom right-hand corner, go to recording. You need to set your mic to default communication device.
DarkForce, when she was giving us lap dance, did you have a physical reaction?
Oh, that laugh is beautiful. I love that laugh.
Also not an answer. I seriously want to know. Cause she like laid on him and stuff. That'd be so funny. I once went to a strip club, and I know we're live.
Yeah, this is another like. Well, that's not things you started out with.
Yep.
Live. Go ahead.
And it was like it's mostly just fun. It's it's like a lot of fun to do, but I don't find it a particular turn on or anything like that because it's just so awkward.
It is.
And one of the strippers kind of yelled at me about that. She's like,
"Are you not turned on?
Do you not like me or something?" And I was like, well, I don't think I came here to like you." She's like,
I went to a strip club. You might Cody or someone might have told you about this, Jeff. But went to a strip club and spent $800 about 2 weeks ago. That was a bad.
I
time.
heard about that. Yeah.
Whoa.
That was a bad time.
I don't have that story either. That's funny.
The best part is that the majority of that was not spent on me. Because I'm an idiot.
Well, this is episode 69.
I know.
Chat said. Well, then we
Awesome.
should be talking about these things.
Yeah. It is true. Did you see the Team Liquid event? You'll quite
No.
like it. Go to teamliquid.net, check it out.
Where it says,
Oh.
Yeah, man, it's very clever.
That extra H actually makes it the creepy kind of laugh that it would happen.
Yeah. Zoc, what are you doing, man?
He can just watch us the whole time and
He's
like
gonna sit there and play with his hair, curl it. Oh, this is so interesting.
crotch shot. Yeah, Socke.
Zoc, you want me to,
I don't understand how to make my voice come through it. I click on the microphone button and nothing happens.
Here, Zoc, I'll fix it for you. Let me give you this link. I'm gonna take over your PC. Just do it. It'll be fun.
Gonna take over your PC.
Yeah, you think I'm joking?
Yeah, take over. Yeah. Take over the
click on
computer.
Zaka, click on Start Full Version. It's free. Click that. It's free, by the way.
But if I click on this, can't you see all my files?
And then when you install it, click Run. Don't click Install.
Socke, what is this folder called? Midget Horse Porn. What is that?
It's probably his replay folder.
It's nothing. Just pictures I've collected over the years. I can't help but to sound like the aliens on
I was like, what? Where have I heard this from? Oh, God.
Okay. Gets the hot pockets. But then open the portal!
Do 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 do.
I like how the whole time Socke's just got a huge shit-eating grin on his face, dude.
He's probably just trolling us. Zoc, give me that partner ID so I can read it out on the air, and everyone can take over your PC at the same time.
Ah, JP, you're so smart. Is Tyler not going to make it either?
No, Tyler's got to play NASL, I think is what he said.
Mm,
I don't know. He's in California, man. He's too big time for us.
Jesus. Artosis has a...
Artosis actually, I'll talk about it after the show, but he has a
Is he
legitimate
okay?
reason. Yeah, he's okay.
Okay, well,
It's not like he called me. He's like, JP, I lost my leg. I can't make state of the game today, man. I'm sorry. I'm going to the emergency room. I wanted to call you first thing, though.
I don't think I've ever been on with Artosis. He's always a planned guest, and then he just never shows up.
You're a good replacement.
It's like that guy in class. It's like that one guy, you know he goes to your class, but you've never seen him before.
Okay, here we go, Zaka.
That happens, man.
I am inside your... Oh my god, it's so laggy. Why is this
Because
so
it has
laggy?
to go over the ocean.
Can you hear me?
Ooh, I can remote reboot his computer. It's time to have fun. Dude, this is
Like,
loading so
If you're not going to be
slow.
on state of the game, then I'll watch your computer burn.
Zaka, it's... Oh my god. I don't know if this is going to be possible, man. Oh, maybe. Okay, we're good.
What the hell's going on?
I feel like someone... Oh god, it's in German! I didn't anticipate this.
What's this in German?
What's that mean, Zaka? What is Aufnahmegator? Gady? What?
Man.
Isn't Forrest really good at computers?
Aufnahme is record.
Oh god, what is that word? How do you even have menus in German? It's like twice the size of an English menu because the words are so fucking long. Sprochter canoe forgetting again. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You certainly wouldn't make a good German teacher.
No, I would be the worst. Where's options?
Just waiting.
Yo.
So what do you guys think about Queen?
Wow,
Zaka, talk. I can
you're
hear
hearing
you.
something.
I had something like this before. but then for some reason it stopped working.
You're very quiet, by the way.
I'll fix it. I'm almost done, guys. Keep playing the Mission Impossible music. I'd play it right now, but YouTube probably wouldn't like it. Let's see. Let's go turn the mic boost up. I think that says properties. Doesn't have a P in it though, so I'm just guessing. Socke, talk.
I don't think this is a good idea
Why?
because it makes the microphone sound shitty.
We can at least hear
No,
you.
you sound fine, actually.
Talk again, Socke.
Yo,
That's quite loud.
We can hear white noise in the background, but when it was a little bit quieter, we could hear you just fine.
You should be fine now, right? Talk.
yeah, I can talk a bit.
That works for me. Don't put it on 30 decibels. I don't know why your mic's so quiet, but
It shouldn't be that quiet. I don't know. I just recently fixed this laptop again, and I don't know. Used to be fine with sound and everything.
well,
You sound really stressed out about it, though. Like, you gonna be okay?
all right. It works good, Socke. Count to 10 for me.
Is it better now?
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
And drinking a Monster on an empty stomach has potent effects.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through Facebook faster than I think I've ever scrolled through Facebook before. Yeah, picture, don't give a fuck. Yep, hot girl. Yep,
Okay.
I like how Sokke's like... yes.
Interesting.
Interesting. Are we ready to start this fucking
Good
show?
age.
Should we go?
Let's do it.
Socke, you good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. DarkForce, you good?
Oh wait, I should get something to drink first.
Yeah, get some drinky drink.
Now we get something to drink.
QXC, are you good to go, Mr. Lean Back?
$10
ready,
is a
man.
Goldschlager.
Alright, we're starting the show.
The Germans drink.
Hello, Ender Sword here again, this time with a few basic things that I hate about the StarCraft 2 scene right now. Number one is when things are supposed to be no fluff, but they end up being a little bit fluffy. I think that if you're ever going to have any form of guest on any of your shows, you should be pretty much swearing at them constantly. You should challenge everything they say, even if you actually agree with it. And if their mother's fat, you should mention that at least 3 times, probably in their introduction, during the questioning itself, and then as part of the shoutouts. Definitely you should never let anyone speak, defend themselves, or anything like that. Always remember that your guests are the absolute enemy, and that's what no fluff means. Another thing I hate is when people in the community can afford to live. I don't like that people are using money that we give esports to eat, pay rent, transportation, anything of that nature. I think that basically these people should be placed in small cages in the MLG offices, given computers, and that's about it. As casters are kicked out, the other ones can eat that one. Which brings me to casting in general. I don't think anyone should be allowed to cast. They're just absolutely horrible. There's something wrong with all of them, and I'd prefer just to have game sounds, Koreans shouting over it, and then in between the matches, just whale songs and white noise with no commercials. Also, I think this would be paid for by the government. The one thing I do like most in this community is the really cool people who call out all of these problems, and I'm trying to definitely be one of those myself. Just I want to call out everything that's wrong and just point out how wrong it is to everyone, so that we can rip it apart. I think the problem with the community is all the people that are helping to lead it. If we got rid of them, then it would be well, it wouldn't be there or anything like that, but then there wouldn't be any problems with it. The problem with it, I think, is that it exists. As long as it exists, people are still going to find complaints with it. So if we continue along this course of action, we can get rid of it by eliminating anyone that wants to participate, punishing success, which I think is key. Hopefully these people will then either quit or actually starve to death. And then we can really have the type of scene that we apparently want, which is none. Thanks for watching, guys.
In control against Artosis debate, and keep going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
Hello, Ender Sword here again, this time with a...
God damn it, Ender Sword.
War field stabilized. Want to turn up the heat? We gotta move.
Woody beat MMA 2-0.
I watched this.
That's so crazy, man.
Well, Woody is kinda special.
What are you guys talking shit about? What's going on?
Goody.
Goody? We're talking shit about Goody at the start of the show?
No, I beat MMA. How do you talk shit about that?
Oh, okay. I wasn't listening. Guys, what's up? Who's getting a call? DarkForce, is that you?
No.
Yeah, it's one of my women folk.
What's up, guys? Welcome to State of the Game. It is Thursday, May 24th, 2012. I'm JP McDaniel, and on the show today, we've got Jeff iNcontroL Robinson. Jeff, how's it going?
Good, JP. Excited to do this.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've done a show. You might recognize some of his faces on the call. You might not. QXC filling in. You probably don't recognize him because he's never had a webcam that looked this good before. QXC, how's it going?
Good to be here. I finally have like a real mic and a real webcam. That's pretty cool.
It's quite incredible. Also joining us on the call, we felt like we've slighted Europeans too long, so we've brought them on the show to make fun of them. We've got Socke. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I think I'm finally finished with recovering from the weekend. Weekends are always pretty tiresome. Played some Level 3, and yeah, I'm feeling good by now.
Good. And also on the show is going to be DarkForce. DarkForce, thank you for filling in last minute for Artosis. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Hello.
Perfect. This is going to be a good show, guys. This is going to be the best show. Socke, your mic is still quite terrible. I don't know if there's anything else you could do to fix it here.
I think it's just fine.
Okay. Well, you might have to do some translations for us, Jeff. It's going to be fun listening to him muffled Socke. So, today on the show, we're obviously going to spend the most time talking about MLG, probably 1 or 2 hours, and then the rest of the time we'll be talking about the Red Bull LAN, previewing that event, GSL Finals coming up, of course, already happened, not coming up. GSL Up and Downs are coming up, and the ones that have happened, and then a little bit of talk about the patch changes, since we have players from all 3 races here. We'll talk about how that's affecting the game and what we're seeing in the tournament's results. So, this past weekend in New York, MLG hosted the Spring Arena number 2. We're going to talk about it, guys. If you don't want to hear us talk about MLG, I'm sorry. It's the number 1 thing right now to talk about. We had Violet actually winning that tournament. Kind of a surprise to a lot of people. Jeff, I know that you were watching this past weekend, right?
Yep.
So what'd you think of Violet taking the tournament?
A lot of storylines. I think the one about Violet winning is one of the best for me. He is a guy who, early on in StarCraft 2, obviously had a lot of success relative to the time. He was one of the Code S players. But he was one of the players who was kind of singled out and talked about as like one of the worst ones, one of the bad ones. And he was kind of kicked around and disrespected, and eventually he was booted from the GSL, competitively, obviously. And then since then, he took the path much less beaten by Korean players. He was one of the first guys to go abroad. And even then, his results weren't that great. He was just kind of considered, the failed Korean who went out and is now trying to cash in on his Koreanness, if you will. But since then, he's become the Rudy story of CSN, who, is legitimately one of the top 5 Zergs on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. He's not only... he's just... The last 3 or 4 tournaments he's been in, he has won or been in the top 2 or 3. He's playing fantastically well, and I think the part I like most about his play is that he's not winning super boring, ridiculous, dumb games, and he's not super ultra cheesy. He's something in the middle. He's able to do all the above, and he mixes it and he jives it, and he's playing with confidence right now, and it's a lot of fun to watch. He's innovating ZVZ. His ZVT is ultra aggressive, and his ZVP is like good luck. You know, he's really hard.
Yeah. You know, there are. You mentioned there's just so many storylines. Symbol, another guy that here in 2012, for whatever reason, it's like he just decided to start playing StarCraft 2 and winning so many tournaments, getting second and third place in so many tournaments, and we see him coming into the Spring Arena getting second. It's quite funny because DRG got knocked out pretty early on. I believe losing to Polt 2-1, and then I'm not sure who eliminated. I can't remember off the top of my head here. Let's look at the
MC.
He lost to MC.
MC 2-1. So a lot of Zergs. DarkForce, as a Zerg yourself, did you happen to watch the finals ZVZ? I think Jeff mentioned that it was quite innovative from both players. What were your thoughts on it?
Oh no, sorry, I didn't watch the final.
I did.
Okay, well we'll let Jeff.
But I read a review, and to me it didn't sound that innovative. But because I didn't watch it, I like my opinion doesn't count for much in that case.
Yeah, it doesn't. He was doing a lot of like roach drops in Nidus Swarm tactics. Nidus Swarm tactics is obviously something that more people have seen, but using Overlords to drop roaches at the top of a ramp and achieve a better concave. So he was more cost-effectively trading roaches, but then also minimizing the effectiveness of bases, if not outright stopping them. That's something that, I guess since we have Germans on here, I'm going to have to be very careful with my word choice. But when I say innovative, I mean he's putting on one of the biggest stages something that people don't frequently do, and it's different from the beaten path, which is just like straight up, I got roaches, you got roaches, let's go fight. Ah, okay, yours had an upgrade advantage. Good game, sir. And then they kind of walk away. This was a much more exciting ZVZ final, and I thought it was pretty cool. I would have liked to have seen Stefano in that final to get a little bit away from Violet here for a second, but it was unfortunate that. I mean, I actually asked him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I was hungover, so I lost." And he's like, "I didn't really care though." And I was like, "You didn't care?" And he's like, "Yeah, my goal was to take top 3 so that it'd be seeded really high." And I was like, "Well, what about winning?" And he's like, I'll win eventually." It's like, you're such a fucking weirdo, man.
Yeah, it was weird, man, because he wasn't even hiding the fact that he was hungover on Sunday morning. Yeah. He's very, very open about it, and it's just, I don't know that. Should his team say something to him about that, Jeff? Does his team even care? It's like he didn't even try, and he got 3rd place at a tournament.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Stefano. Like, deep down through the bullshit, he does care about stuff like that. I believe he honestly was satisfied with top 3. I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Did he care that he was hungover at the time? He probably realized, you know what, I am hungover, so whatever, I'll just deal with it and act like it's normal. But that's part of the charm of Stefano. If he had any less character or was like a complete fluff machine who never really says what he actually thinks and is just like, oh gosh, I'll give it my greatest, I'm under weather, but I'll do my best, then I think he'd have less fans, because winning will only get you so far.
I really agree with that. Actually, I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I don't read Team Liquid comments that much, but I sometimes see on German pages or so, and like many people like him because he's kind of a bit of a like a drunken hippie or so. And yes, I mean, many people love him for that, and at the same time, he has very good results, and he's a very good player, and yeah, I really think he that really makes many people like him. If he was just a good player without that, I think people would still like him just for the fact that he's a foreigner, but the difference to the Koreans would not be that big, because many of the Koreans are quite faceless. Yes.
I think to your point though, like, should his team step in? Millennium's had kind of an interesting laissez-faire attitude about this. Wow, look at that. Bilingual for the moment.
Special.
Because they kind of know that like kind of what DarkForce was just talking about, that's going to bring them attention. If Stefano were to go to another team, like let's say EG, I think they would treat him much like a Huck or Idra, where he's still able to do kind of that attitude stuff, but showing up hungover to a tournament, he would get pulled aside and be like, listen, you can be a weird French guy who doesn't give a shit, that's fine, but you need to actually be in physical condition to at least not give a shit but still have a chance at winning. Because at the end of the day, it's really cool for Millennium if Stefano, the only foreigner in that, top 6, ends up winning the effing thing.
Yeah.
That would have been absolutely, like, momentous and
top
huge.
Top 8, actually.
Yeah, and we'd get to make fun of we'd get to make fun of Slasher. We'd have another tournament, you know, where we're like, oh, the Koreans don't win everything, but instead, he gets what 4-0'd, 3-0'd, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, sometimes you play better if you're hungover. Not always, but it's like
You have experience with that?
There's like very specific situations, or I don't know.
That's like saying you drive better drunk, man. That's such a stupid thing to say.
But it's like if you don't worry that much anymore, and you're like very decisive about stuff. Then because you notice my mechanics might not be as good as they're usually, maybe I should.
Socke, I challenge you to play Anaheim completely hungover the entire time. I think you have a better chance at winning.
I mean, I know what Socke means, to be honest, because some people have the problem that they play like scared, and they think too much about what could happen, and that they are indecisive because of that and those kind of things.
Yeah,
I've had that problem myself, and I mean, yes, I guess if you are hungover, maybe that changes, and you just don't give a fuck, and you just play super risky and win because of that. But in general, I guess there's other ways to fix that than to be hungover.
Yeah.
So,
you guys get hungover against me and everybody else on my team, and I think you will play better. You should do that.
I'm just saying you should be talking like, yeah, if he hadn't been hungover, he would have won, or his chances would be that much better. So
I think he would have played better. I don't know if he would have won. I just think he would have played better.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's possible, but yeah.
Well, Socke, let's talk to you a little bit. You actually, you got top 12, but in the consolation matches, who did you beat to get top 12? Because I can't find it on Liquipedia.
Yeah, I lost to Young on Saturday evening, and on the following day I beat first Devil and then Bly to get 14th place.
Awesome. Well, I know you were super excited about that. The other thing I want to mention is you sing Barbie Girl pretty well at karaoke.
Hang on. You can't just say Socke had a pretty good run and then move on.
That's true.
Karaoke.
That's true.
You actually had
I just want to get
monster
to
run. A few of these, like I said, there's so many storylines, and obviously we have to spend at least 2/3 of the show on MLG, otherwise we won't meet our secret contract where we have to talk to MLG.
Right.
Beating Thorzane, who used to be kind of a road bump in the past for you guys, met a lot in finals and clan wars and stuff like that, and I think he's, for the most part, gotten the better of you. But this time around, I watched the whole series. It was a gorgeous series. You're utilizing that fast third nexus really well, I thought. I'm trying to copy the shit out of that right now. And then you actually, who was the Zerg you beat? I thought I saw you beat a really good Zerg.
You beat Idra in the opening round of the tournament.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you just had an awesome run, man. I guess I don't have too much more to add other than your series against Thorzane was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was. Well, go ahead, Socke.
I think I beat Thorzane before, but especially I lost to him in the V-Back quarterfinals in a rather disappointing way. I mean, he played well there, and I played very bad, so on the big stage, he made me look very bad. Yeah, I was very happy that I could get some revenge on him that weekend.
And then the match that actually eliminated you from the tournament, DRG, you took the first game off of him in that series,
that's
correct?
What it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, then I was
winning
winning the second game.
looking too. Damn it.
I don't know, I haven't been feeling too well all Saturday. I had like a pretty heavy headache, which just got worse and worse as the day went on. I don't really know why, but yeah, my focus wasn't really there, so I won the first game. The second game, picked a very nice build, which he couldn't deal with. So I killed his third twice, and then even then I had like 1k overmins, fucked up the build, and one of my immortals got stuck, and I had to make bad decisions and bad macros, so I ended up losing the second map, which is, yeah, it's, even though before the best of 3 I wouldn't have been sad about losing to DRG, like looking at that Shakur's game, yeah, I should have won it, so that sucks.
Well, one of the other storylines about this event was foreigners just beating dominating players. You guys mentioned before I think when I had you muted, Goody taking out MMA. That happened. That happened,
No,
guys.
I didn't. I don't know.
And it went
but honestly,
2-0.
I mean, Socke and me, we both know Goody very well, and I mean, Goody. First of all, TVT is by far his best matchup, and also he has some openings that really no one else plays, but that can be surprisingly good when you have never seen them before. I mean, I didn't see the games, admittedly, but I know that Goody like for example, like early Barracks Reaper Bunker Rush on Tal'Darim was one of his special builds, and I know that's.
He was actually talking about that last weekend, like, oh, I beat all the Koreans. Don't talk, like, because he just didn't know the build, and if you don't know it, you just die to it. So
I think my favorite part of that series was MMA tweeting a bunch of question marks afterwards.
Yeah.
That was I saw that on Reddit the next day or a little bit afterwards. That was pretty awesome. Another foreigner who was beating Koreans, Grubby, in round 1 of the tournament, 2-0 Oz. Granted, Oz's PvP is not one of his best matchups, but it's still awesome.
Oz has a very good win rate in PvP.
He used to be like very good at PvP and said it's all about skill.
But now he's starting to try this. What is this Nexus build, Jeff and Socke? That
63 on Korea, but he lost a lot of games recently, I guess.
Well, what is this Nexus build? He does this in every best of anything that I've seen, and every single game he loses.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Nexus first in PvP or what?
I think it's off of 2 gates. Jeff, did you know? I mean, I'm by no means an expert.
GSL, he did Nexus first on an Atlantis spaceship, I think, and he just died to Stalkers.
Yeah, and he died against parting from like just a natural response. He's like, okay, you went Nexus first. I guess I'll just keep making units and then win, I guess. And Oz is like, oh gosh darn, yeah, he made them units and shit. I just was hoping my Nexus would get me a great economy.
Yeah, he did that in one game against Grubby. The other game was actually just a straight up game, no silly shenanigans like that. And that was a huge story. Then Grubby went on to beat Ryung in losers round 3, 2-1, losing to Inori, kind of the PvP specialist after that. But Grubby had a great run at this tournament, and when he beat Ryung, he qualified top 12 now for Anaheim. So he actually, we didn't catch it on camera. I think Rich tried to take some pictures of it there from TL, but he threw his hands up in the air, and I don't know whether he fainted or lost his balance or what, but he fell over, almost knocking the camera over. That was live on the mainstream, yeah. So
is there a video of that?
I don't know if I haven't seen any videos of it. But if there is, feel free to post them. I don't know. I don't think people are allowed to film inside the arena video unless you're doing like an interview or something like that. So I think Rich captured the moment when he threw his hands up, but not when he fell down. But that was an awesome series. What else? I mean, Jeff, you watched the most of it here, besides Socke. Was there anything that kind of stuck out in your mind?
3 Zergs in the top 6. I think we're going to talk about that with the patch stuff.
QQ.
I actually don't have much to QQ about. Protoss was 1 out of the top 6 standard. I think it was interesting seeing Total Biscuit on that stage, and kind of having a mix with what's become a regular commentator for MLG, who is Rob, and yourself.
Oh yeah,
Apollo, and Wheat. I thought that was a very interesting mix. It kind of dawned on me that Tastosis and to a lesser extent Day 9 are really like paired with MLG in my mind. Like when they're absent from it, I can feel their presence gone.
Right.
And Total Biscuit, while I think he's a great announcer obviously, and he's got a good voice for cast. I mean, I'm not critical of him at all. It's just it was weird seeing him on that stage in replacement of Tastosis.
Yeah, to be honest, it felt weird to be in an event without Nick and Dan there. And it felt even weirder when they would throw to me and TB at the analysis desk, because I'm just like, hey guys, that match happened, back to you. I don't know.
You have insight on that? Because there's a couple times where it was pretty funny. It was like, I think one time they threw over and it was DJ Wheat and like a Total Biscuit or something. Like, these are great commentators, but they are not known for their analysis.
Right.
So you're at a table that you've so claimed the analysis table. It's like an inside joke that everyone's getting. It was kind of weird. It was like...
It's funny because we only had 2 analysts in the caster lineup, Wolf and Apollo, and then the other 4 of us, Wheat, myself, Total Biscuit, and Rob, being kind of the play-by-play guys. And every now and then, the main goal was to always have an analysis on the main stream. So then every now and then, I think me and Rob casted a lot together on that stream. Me and Wheat casted once together. Wheat and Total Biscuit actually casted a match together, which they said was quite hilarious. I haven't been able to catch that yet. But the main reason is that we wanted to get analysis there at the event, but we didn't kill that by any means. We loved having the pro players there. In fact, I even reached out to QXE to come, but they're all so busy, man. They've got tournaments every single weekend now, and for these guys to come out, they're missing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of practice where they could be at home, they could be relaxing, and being kind of getting ready for these big events. The Red Bull LAN coming up, then MLG Anaheim after that.
Man.
Do what?
Have players that get knocked out do it.
Well, that's the thing. We did have them hop in from time to time, but a lot of the time the players, if they're knocked out of the event, they'd rather go and look around New York or kind of relax and hang out with the guys they haven't been able to see in person in a long time. And we can't obviously be like, no, get in the fucking chair. Like, you can't talk with your friends, but there's definitely improvements in that aspect that we're looking to improve, obviously. But it was shitty having to throw to like me and Total Biscuit over in the analysis chair, and we can't really say anything more when Wolf and Apollo are up there because that's not our role. And that sucked. But I think that what did you think of the picture-in-picture stuff, Jeff?
It's good. I mean, in the production-wise, I think everyone's stepping it up, MLG included, and makes for a better appearance. I mean, I think we're going to talk about the Pro League, but that'd be the only tournament I'd say that like introduced the 1985 Pinto as like their brand spanking new like item.
Yeah.
It's just their overlay looked terrible, and I don't know. I digress, but it was good. It's fine.
Did you see how lucky we got with the first picture-in-picture of all time at MLG, Jeff?
I don't think so.
MC MMA, which is another thing that we got lucky about having that in the first round because that was an incredible match to open the tournament out. But I was directing the picture-in-picture stuff most of the time, and I'm sitting there like screaming at the director like, take the shot, take the shot, take the shot. And as soon as he takes it, 2 medevacs fly over MC's High Templar, and he gets the feedback on Tal'Darim or something like that. And that was the first one we did. We couldn't have gotten any luckier with that. And then there were like learning curves with that throughout the weekend. But production-wise, I thought it went well from being involved with it. I can't obviously comment on it because that's going to be self-boasting. But let us know what you guys thought, as we always look for feedback. Let's talk about the tournament a little bit more. Zog, what about the tournament in your eyes? You were there. Did you have anything that stood out for you, other than getting top 14 yourself?
Yeah, I think it was, for one, let me think, I think the warm-up times were also good most of the times. For me personally, there were, I think, too many games on Saturday and not enough on Sunday, so maybe one could schedule that a bit differently. What I really liked was that we had some unknown Europeans over there, which most of you probably never heard of, as in Tifo and Bly especially, and Saplo. I think Goody was there as well, and at least, Goody managed to beat MMA, and Tifo and Bly both got top 16, so I know I was happy that those guys got to show their faces at a big American event.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Anyone saw Tifo or Bly's games? They also got their, I'd say, pretty unique style. I don't know if they had done so well, if people had known more about their style, but any comments?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I didn't really watch or cast too many of the...
Yeah. Tefl beating Huck was...
That's true.
No, Bly
cool.
beat Huck. Tifel beat Red.
Yeah.
Who beat Huck?
Bly.
Bly.
Yeah,
Oh,
beat Huck.
Bly knocked
right,
him
right,
out
right,
2-1.
right. Okay.
And then lost to Dream.
Bly played the style that every Protoss hopes Zergs don't know about. And that's where they just take like 5 bases, make 30,000 spine crawlers, and sit behind and max on Broodlords and Infestors. And Corruptors.
Well, I don't know. I think Zergs know that style.
You're right. That's why I said Protoss hope they don't know about it.
Yeah, but Bly also does some other funny stuff sometimes. I think that's not the only thing he does from what I know.
No. I didn't say it's the only thing. I said it's the style he did against Huck. And
Oh,
he did
okay. I didn't see the games, but I know he likes to do some weird all-ins also.
Yeah. Tefl does a really cool style too. He does Ling Infestor and Hydralisk with Corruptors.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see him do any ZVPs. I think he played mostly ZVZ, and he faced like monsters, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good. Good with the young guys.
Other than that, it was a fun weekend altogether. One of the other big events that happened this weekend, well, really, we're pretty much talking about everything that happened this weekend. One of the other three, I guess, was the Brood War Pros playing StarCraft 2. myself, DJ Wheat, Wolf, Idra, Rob Simpson, a couple other people were watching it in a hotel room, laughing kind of along with the rest of the community because everyone had hyped it up that they were going to be like the new age of StarCraft 2, and then we basically watched some Korean Masters players kind of fumble along there. But what were your thoughts on it, Jeff? Was there anything that you noticed that was really, really awesome to see other than it was just the StarCraft 1 players playing StarCraft 2?
I think the really awesome thing was the nostalgia and the fact that it's finally here. Like, people have been talking about the heralding of these guys coming for a long time. And while the level of play wasn't anything that's going to blind anybody, which I don't think it... if anyone was expecting that, then they're kind of silly. I thought it was just cool to see effort play this game and see Jaedong take the stage and Flash take the stage. I think everyone had a certain element of excitement with that. So I'm interested to see how it develops and how it grows. I think that's the cool thing about this, is it's like... the night itself wasn't the most... like, I'm not going to be like, I remember when Pro League started in StarCraft 2. But I hope to think that this is what's going to end up being something that we're all really proud of.
Yeah. QXC, I know you watched the matches a little bit. What were your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Jeff said, I never really expected them to be able to pick up the game and be top tier. But I think what's really interesting is, like, they've already proven that they're really good at improving, they're really good at practicing, they have good regiment, they know how that all works through their Brood War experience. So, I don't really care about them now, but what will be really interesting is how good will they be in 6 months, in a year, when Brood War is actually not a game that they practice anymore. Like, and then you translate all those years of experience, not just with StarCraft, but with practicing and competing, being ready for tournaments, all that stuff. Put that into a StarCraft 2 context, give it a year or two to grow and see where these guys come out. That's the more interesting part about this for me.
Yeah. DarkForce, did you happen to catch the games?
No, but I kind of agree with QXC. I really think it's extremely hard to play 2 games at once. Like, actually, like, just getting to, like, a good master level, and I don't know, I heard that some of them are, like, low grandmaster also.
I think effort was, yeah.
Yes, like, I think it's really impressive to do that while still having to practice Brood War. And, I mean, I kind of was annoyed sometimes by the extreme hype on Team Liquid about it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that they will just, like, plop and be, like, the best players in the world from one week to the other. And I'm pretty sure that quite a few of them will be, like, top players. But I really think that the current top players in StarCraft 2 will be able to keep up, and it won't just suddenly be all former, well, people who are in the Brood War teams right now, let's say like that. I mean, many of the StarCraft 2 players are former Brood War pros anyway, in one way or another. But yes, I think the hype is a bit exaggerated sometimes, but they will definitely become good with because they work very hard, probably harder than most of the current StarCraft 2 pros in Korea. Because well, I mean, I don't have that much insight, but sometimes I heard that the StarCraft 2 team houses are not as strict as the StarCraft 1 team houses.
It's such a good point, though, about the hype on TL. I talked about this on Inside the Game, but it's like the memes on Reddit and the posts on Team Liquid, like, here it comes that elephant, get ready, get fucking ready, and like, there's like, I could, like, I'm sure DarkForce, you and I probably read this very similarly. We're just kind of like, calm the fuck down, like
yeah, exactly.
Flash's comments. Yeah, he comes out and he's like, yeah, I'll be really good. I think it'll take me about a year or two, which is like an extremely. It's probably conservative. He's probably looking at like 10 months, maybe a year or something like that. But even he's like, hey, give me some time, and everyone's like, here we go. Flash is gonna blow our brains.
Yeah, exactly.
Just 3 command centers die, basically. Like,
me and I forget. I think it might have been Idra, but we were betting to see if they were gonna even like research Warp Gate and silly shit like that when they were playing. 'Cause we didn't know how. We didn't really know how good they were gonna be or how bad they were gonna be in the match.
Really, Warp Gate?
Yeah, man. What if that actually happened? Think about that for a second, QXC.
It's like, man, gateways are so much better than
what about
Warp
in that
Gates?
PvP if they didn't research? Yeah, and the community would be like, well, obviously the Koreans know something we don't.
That
and
is like
I think everyone would say they're going to be amazing, right? No one's like, yeah, they're not going to be that good. But obviously, it was weird to expect them to blow our brains in that first night, I think.
Yeah. Zoc, Mr. Muffleman, did you watch the games at all?
Oh no, I didn't watch it at all, but I can agree with most of what has been said. I think one thing that we gotta keep in mind though is the football queens haven't really gotten the experience of the foreign tournaments where they really have to try, you know. Most of their overseas experience has been going to WCG and owning everybody, like no problem, but even the top football pros, once they switch to StarCraft 2, there's going to be foreign competition, and they're going to have to fly a long time and then play for like 2 or 3 days on a hot match.
That's true. How do you think they'll react to playing overseas at an IPL or an NASL or a MLG? Do you think they're going to be... I mean, they've had probably the most exposure to that from Brood War more than any other StarCraft 2 player, right?
I mean, how many overseas events were there really for Brood War? Like, there was WCG every year, but was there much more than that? I don't...
Yeah, and the WCG was only 3 Koreans every year. So I really think they will have very little experience with that. And I think they... I mean, I don't know, like, how far-sighted their coaches are, but probably their coaches will, like... give them like some sort of like hints and tips, etc. beforehand, like how they adjust to jet lag and stuff like that. Because I think that's the biggest problem to know how to handle jet lag and to like be somewhat rested when you have to play in the end. But probably they will have a coach coming with them and who can maybe speak at least decent English, and then I think they shouldn't have all too many problems, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's just about like being somewhat prepared to what you will face.
Yeah. Anaheim's going to be really cushy. It's like a little Brood War tournament that's separate from everything else.
Right.
And I would imagine they don't even play in the main event, so...
Yeah,
They themselves have said like this is kind of an expedition, and they're not going to necessarily go to every MLG. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think all your guys' points are pretty valid.
Yeah, I don't. As far as I know, the Brood War pros coming over, I don't know if they're blocked off from playing, but I know there's no competitor passes allowed to be sold anymore for the main StarCraft 2 tournament. So I don't think they're going to be allowed to play. It was funny. There was I think it was in the interview with Jaedong, it might have been Bisu, but they asked like if they're going to be coming over and playing, and his response was, "Oh, I'm playing in that tournament. I didn't even know that was going to happen." So I hope that they understand they're coming over to play StarCraft 2. I hope we did that, MLG. If not, we need to send them the note.
Yeah, when I saw the interview, I thought, yeah, probably their coach said yes without even informing the player or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, ew, that's
all right, guys. It's time to get on a plane. It leaves in 3 hours. Like, pack your stuff. Just take whatever you're wearing. We're going. Like, wake someone up, pull them out of their bed.
That would be very Korean of them.
Yeah, it's true. The other thing that came out today, MLG finally announced the 8 players that are coming out. And rather than, I mean, there's not much that we can really say about that announcement other than it's cool, but I want to give maybe some backstory about some of these guys. Obviously, the community at large knows kind of the Flash and Jaedong are the big two. Stork and Bisu probably the next ones. But Socke, what can you guys tell me about him in terms of just a player? What is he known for, and why should people be excited about him that didn't follow the Brood War scene? Whoever wants to jump at this first.
Well, I honestly only watched a lot of VODs, but I know that he has had quite some success in like the last year, and yeah, but that's pretty much all I know.
I think the big hype around him is like he became a very good Brood War player. Obviously, I would never. I mean, it goes without saying, but in StarCraft 2, the Kespa side has kind of said that Socke is their little prodigy right now. He's the one that's translated very well to this new game. So I'm not surprised he's being sent, because I guess they kind of want to show off his abilities.
Yeah. I think in the press release it says most wins in Kespa Dream League 09-10. He had one of the best records, 67 and 25 in 2008. As far as I know, it's the 8 teams or whatever that are sending 1 player each. He's from Woongjin. Calm, what about him, Jeff?
Another Zerg player from Brood War. He was never one of my favorites. Like, I was a Zerg player in Brood War for the people that didn't know, I guess. And so I followed the Zergs really as well as I could, I guess. And he was a lot of people's favorites. Like, he definitely had some success, but he never really caught my eye. I just wasn't really high up on him. So that was actually, of all the lists, that was the name that I saw. It was kind of weird. And I guess the chat's saying he's playing Terran in StarCraft 2, so
Ooh, okay.
maybe it's for race diversity or something, I don't know.
Reason I put that over Socke's webcam, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm not blocking him out. He's actually going to go and see if he can get a better mic working, so he'll be back in just a couple of minutes. But the next guy on the list, Stork, I think he's probably one of the most well-known players out of this bunch. Jeff, or I guess anyone who really wants to jump in, feel free. All right, Jeff.
Yeah, I know, they're making me talk so much. Thanks for tuning in, guys, JP. Stork,
I got into Brood War so late, I don't have much to say about these guys.
Stork is, in my opinion, I mean, Bisu gets all the attention, but I think Stork, I mean, it's hard to say. I think Bisu had some streaks that are really hard to overlook, but Stork was one of the most powerful Protosses in Brood War history for a long time. It's very hard. I mean, like you could make an argument for 2 or 3 guys, but he was definitely one of the best ever. And I got to play WCG alongside him in 2007 and met him. He's a very humble, very nice guy. I don't know. There's not much more to say. Like he's one of the guys I'm really excited for in StarCraft 2. I don't know if he's playing Protoss or not, but I hope so because I'd like to see what he thinks of the race and the game itself. But you know, another great player.
Now, Lita is one of the players that a lot of people were upset that it's not Effort coming. I don't know why Effort is not going to be representing CJ Antis, but in terms of Lita, this guy has... Is it Artosis or Idra that hates this guy or dislikes this guy, Jeff? Is there a backstory there?
I think Artosis always talks shit about him because he used to do really funny things like... he would do the Wraith build in TVZ a lot, and was kind of famous for his Wraith micro, as well as some other like wanky, cheesy builds that Artosis, for whatever reason, at the time would really hit up on and get mad about.
Yeah.
Lita's another Terran that had a lot of success and was one of the big, exciting Terrans in his day.
Yes, but he could also play micro games. I mean, I can only speak about Brood War from a viewer perspective because I didn't play that much myself. But I have seen games where he, like one game where he beat Flash in a very long TVT, for example. And yes, I really think. Well, I don't know. Like I'm always find that prejudice against tricky or cheesy plays that people do sometimes a bit weird, like that you get really upset about it. Well, not you in person, but I mean, like, people in general.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Breaking news, Slasher messages me saying Sundance told him in an interview that they can, in fact, join the open tournament if they want to.
Yeah, here's the thing. They won't.
Yeah,
and the reason is these are guys that have won in front of audiences of like 40,000, and then it's on nationally broadcasted televisions. Like, they have a lot of pride locked up in StarCraft, and they've just made the transition. A lot of people think they made it like 2 weeks ago, but it was actually like a couple months ago, but that's still not enough time for them to be the dominant players that they were.
Right.
So why would they enter the bracket and then be subjected to, like, Gosu Yada knocks out fucking Bisu, and everyone's like, oh, shit! And he'll have to wear that badge for, like, literally 6 months until he goes to the next big event when he's actually a monster. So I would really be surprised if any of them subjected themselves to that. Maybe Socke. Maybe some of these guys that have hit Grandmaster on the Korean Korean ladder or something like that, but otherwise they'll probably just be happy to take the free ride, get paid their dollars, and go back to Korea.
Yeah. Realistically, Jeff, is there any chance of any of them making it through the open bracket in your eyes? No?
Yeah, Socke.
Socke's the only one?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, someone who is in Grandmaster in Korea can make the open bracket. You just need a good day and some luck, and yeah.
I think Effort could have done it had they sent Effort too.
Well, we'll see if he comes to future tournaments. I don't actually know if these guys will come to the big opens tournaments for MLG. It's a long trip, and especially when they're going to be involved with everything else going on in South Korea. Bisu, of course, everyone knows who that is, Jeff, but just a quick rundown in case you don't.
Bisu is one of the biggest legends in Brood War. He's a handsome individual, a very handsome guy. He's always been one of the... okay, well, not necessarily always, but he innovated one of the most popular styles in all of Brood War. And before people jump on this, no, he did not invent it, but he popularized it, and that's Corsair DT PVZ. So of course, it ended up being called the Bisu build, and he is not the guy that invented it, but he's the one that put it on the biggest stage and made it look good. I got to play him at IEF Brood War 2008, I think it was.
Really?
And yeah, it was one of the best thumpings I've ever taken in my life. I got to sit right next to him. There's like 50 cameras behind us. And this is back in Brood War when my normal audience was like 15 people or 10. And I got to joke around with him because his jacket was on my chair, and I walked over to it, and I looked at it, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he was like, uh-oh, and I looked at him and I said, "Get your fucking jacket off of my chair." And he just started laughing because he knew that obviously I wouldn't talk that way to him, so we had a good laugh about that. It was obviously one of those stupid jokes that I do where, like, in retrospect, he could have taken that really wrong.
Yeah, I was just like...
I'd be a giant jackass, but fortunately for me, I was able to evade the wrath of Bisu. But he's one of the best Pro Toss players ever, a great guy, really exciting player. I can't wait to see it.
Socke, let's do a mic check real quick.
Yeah, I think it should be better now.
Oh, my
yes,
God.
it is.
I can remove Woodstock. Although
Welcome
it
back,
probably
Socke.
should be a webcam.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Can you repeat everything you said before?
Oh. No.
No, you cannot. Do you have anything to add about Bisu as a player, Socke?
Actually, when he got big, I didn't really play or watch StarCraft 1 anymore. You know, I quit like 8 years ago or 7 years ago, so I don't think it was a big deal by then. I'm all like for not run, reach, and those guys.
Okay, okay. Fantasy, Jeff, quick.
Fantasy, amazing Terran. He was always very dominant. His drop-offs were kind of like the drop-offs that we see from the superstars, where it's like, man, he only took top 5. What's wrong with him? Just a really mechanical, fast super player. Like when people talk about these Brood War pros and their amazing mechanics, one of the people they're talking about is Fantasy.
And then the last player will be, of course, Jaedong. Him and Flash probably the most recognizable. I mean, anything that you want to say about Jaedong, Jeff?
Jaedong was the player. Like, Savior's always going to be my favorite Brood War player, but Jaedong was a very close second. And honestly, you know, watching streams or like you couldn't watch streams of these players obviously, but like getting a Jaedong replay was absolutely amazing. And he would play like there was no like one way that he played, and that's how he won all his games because everyone created builds to beat Jaedong. Like when they were like, "Oh, I've got Jaedong. Well, I'm going to proxy half my base just outside his outside his base on destination, and I'm gonna do a 1 base all in, but it's gonna look like a 2 base all in." Like they had to do the craziest shit to try to beat him, and all the time, not necessarily all the time, but he was like famous for just on the fly responding to builds that were carved out for him like 3 weeks ago, and then trained against the other best Zergs in the world. So he's an absolute monster. Mechanics, speed, mindset. I think he has one of the best mindsets in the whole world. Like he's actually, there's famous pictures of him with a face that looks like he's like currently murdering someone. Like it looks like
I know what you mean.
He's like like throttling someone. But that's because when he plays, they're like Jaedong, why do you make that face when you play? And I'm going to quote something he said, and I don't usually use this word, but this is what he said.
Okay.
He said, "When I play, I try to think over and over again, I'm going to rape you. I'm raping you. I'm going to rape you." Like, that's actually what, like, over and over again, this guy with, like, the most deep intensity ever is thinking about forcing himself on you sexually the whole time. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, never mind the fact that he's got 400 APM, never mind the fact that he's, like one of the most talented StarCraft players ever, it's ridiculous.
Well,
I've never seen anyone sweat as much playing StarCraft as Jaedong also. That's what I remember watching, like his VODs. Like I didn't watch much, but he sweats like no one else.
there you go. He sweats. Well, all those guys, 8 of them will be, of course, at MLG Anaheim. I think. Jeff, did we fill the quota? Can we move on?
I'm actually getting nervous because if you spend any more time, you're going to get like 10, 15, 20,000 Reddit threads. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Listen, guys, the bottom line is, like, MLG just happened. They just announced 8 Casper players. We're going to talk about that. And then we'll move on to the other tournaments.
Yeah.
And because JP doesn't work at Red Bull, and because I don't work at the Pro League, we can't talk as much about it because we don't know as much.
True.
Deal with it!
Well, let's move on to the Red Bull Battlegrounds Austin. That'll kick off this weekend. It actually, does it start Friday? No, it's only a Saturday and Sunday event. Actually, event will be broadcasted by Day 9, DJ Wheat Husky, and Rob Simpson.
Day 9 gave me a special message to give about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So, hey guys, this is Day 9, and we're actually really excited about the Red Bull LAN this weekend. It's where pro gamers are going to come in and compete for a big old prize. And if you actually stick around, we're going to have pro gaming panels, and we're going to do a Day 9 daily where you can learn to be a better gamer with myself, Sean Plott, Day 9. So I'm actually super excited about this. I can't wait for everyone to tune in. Make sure and watch us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll do more of these later.
It's not Day 9. It's not Friday.
It's not Friday, but it is Saturday and Sunday, and I can't wait to be there for it.
Thank you, Day 9.
Yeah.
You want to run through the player list for us, or you want to do that yourself, Jeff?
Let's just talk about it like this. Like, everyone knows the player list. Let's just talk about the hot button ones, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because otherwise we're just going to be, like, literally droning on about StarCraft 2 players that are at every tournament.
Right.
Very interested in Last Shadow.
Yeah.
And I'll fluff it for a motherfucking second here. You ready?
No fluff.
I think Last Shadow is there because he's buddies with Sean, and that rubs me the wrong way. You can say he's a good player, and I'm not going to tell you're wrong, because obviously he is a good player. But if you look at him in comparison to the rest of the invited players, like, this is not a qualified tournament. They did not get in on points that they did really well in the tournament earlier, and now they suck. Okay, no excuses. They're actually just a part of this tournament by invite, and Last Shadow is leagues below in terms of deserving or accomplishments than other players that could have gone, which means the tournament is taking a dive, potentially, because of the personal preference of one of the guys that works for it, and that rubs me the wrong way. Like I said, and there's going to be people in the chat who are like, wow, he deserves it. No, he fucking doesn't. A ladder Grandmaster on Korea, that doesn't do it.
He's even Grandmaster in Korea?
That's what people say. There's rumors that someone bought the account for him or whatever. He travels event stuff, which he doesn't do. How is he placed? The last time he did it was 2010 at MLG. So I have nothing against...
No, he played 2011 MLG. I'm just checking his match list. He lost to Artero. That's how he went out.
You know, so the thing for me, like, I have nothing against him as a person. I think it's wonderful. But I think that he is not... you don't invite him to one of the big prestigious tournaments for $41,000. I think
I agree.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, I find it weird, and I don't even like him that much as a person, because the only interview I ever read, he was talking about how great it is to be talented and practice is overrated, and I think that's like a super weird attitude, and I don't like people who are like, oh, I'm so talented, I don't need to practice, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't know, I think that's the wrong attitude when you play StarCraft.
He used to be very, very cheated, at least in 2010.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
CV Marine
on MLG, and yeah, he fell to the gold base. I'm at Loveless and Marine yelled me, but it failed. Very happy I won that match, just remembering. But I think he's a very questionable invite. But I think they just put one American into each group. I think they're all
quota
gonna have a bit of a problem.
Like the Frauenquote in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, they put 2 Canadians in Group C to make up for the one American.
Yeah, that's quite right.
Is that kind of true?
Yeah.
The Frauenquote, it's a woman's quota that in German companies, you know? And you have the American quota.
Jeff, can you
What?
translate?
I can't even tell what they're talking about.
I have no idea.
Guys,
I can feel it in my gut.
We need a translator.
So I don't want to detract the whole thing about this. Like, it's not going to ruin the experience for me. I'm going to watch every fucking second, and I'm sure it's going to be a great tournament. And this has happened before. We've had weird invites. But for me, like Last Shadow, he's not a personality. He's not a part of the community, really. He started to make videos, which have helped people, so that's cool. So in my opinion, he's starting to do what would then get him invites. But for him to get an invite off of what I suspect to be kind of a personal relationship with one of the guys running it, that should rub people the wrong way. Because it's not like we're dealing with 45, 50 players here. Isn't it just 16, or is it actually...
16, yes.
It is 16. So that means that each one of those invites has to really deliver.
Yeah.
Oh, you even get $500 for last place. Not bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I
want
said,
to invite it.
So yesterday on Live on 3, when Day 9 was on there, he's I don't know if it was Slasher or if it was Scoots, but they asked him about Last Shadow coming, and he said he quote wanted players that aren't the top players to have a chance at making an upset, and he also said that it wasn't just because they were friends, and that quote he didn't know about any of his bad manner problems. So that was his statement regarding that.
The thing about the upset sounds like just bullshit to me.
Yep.
Like, I
think he will go 03, 06 in his group, to be honest. I mean, Red, Parting, and Squirtle.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, that was like it's not even his fault. Like a lot of people would go 3 or 4 in that group, but like
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, I would probably too. I'm not saying that I would go or probably any of us would not advance from that group, but still, it's.
And I hope he goes 3-0, and then he like posts a video of him going iNcontroL. I'm so good, and like I'm just like, yeah, I take it. You're right. That was amazing. And then I look at Sean, and Sean would actually like levitate off the ground and be like, I told you so. But what's probably going to happen is he is going to get bombed out. They're going to interview him, and he's going to call the foreigner shit again, and then we'll send him back to Korea to.
Wait, did he do that before already?
Yeah.
Ouch. Should we give predictions for each group, Jeff?
Sure, let's do that.
Should we try to outdo Live on 3 in their predictions, where everyone just copies?
Yeah. Most of us watch StarCraft 2.
Most of us.
Step up, Slasher.
Group A, Gonzi, Illusion, Stefano, Violet. Stefano, Violet, my 2 picks. Anyone else have any other thoughts on that?
MC's in there, right?
No.
Gonzi Stefano.
No.
Gonzi, Stefano, Violet.
Illusion, Violet.
Illusion?
I think actually it's very close between Ganzi, Stefano, and Violet. I think I would have to look at the map pool, because it depends a lot on the map pool.
The map pool
and the veto system. Things like veto system and map pools, I think, make such a big difference in like who is the favorite right now.
I do not see
Ohana in there.
Yes, there's Ohana and Tom Valley, Antigua, but why is there 6 maps? That's a weird way to make a map pool. I guess they will have something like a loser's pick or so.
Probably.
Yes.
What is the full
I don't
map
know,
pool?
but it's super close between Ganzi, Stefano, and Violet. Like any of those two, and I think Illusion has, well, very slim chances.
I bet Violet and Stefano stomp on Gonzi. CVT. I did make a bet with Huck. He bet me. I gave him 2-to-1 odds on $100.
Wow.
And he took that Illusion would make it out of that group.
See, I was about to ask that. Does Illusion have what it... I mean...
That's terrible. I would bet like 10k on that or so.
I mean, have you guys actually...
You're a fucking baller.
seen Illusion play? I don't know. Like,
He's great.
Just because you haven't heard of Illusion actually
Yeah,
winning,
okay, but
doesn't mean
but
he's
he's
not like
still-
Play him and I've seen
First-
him play, but he won't have a chance in that group. So
No, I mean, it's just about the odds. I mean, of course, maybe he has 20% chance or something like that to make it out of 15. But with 2-to-1 odds, I take that, and I put a lot of money on it. Anyway,
Thank you, DarkForce. So you said I made a good bet. I appreciate that.
yeah.
QXC, you're sticking up for Illusion. You think he
Yeah,
has
I
what it
mean,
takes?
Okay, my experience with Illusion has actually been kind of strange, because I was practicing like probably like 8 months ago or something, and I was just messaging people. I was like, "Hey, you want to play practice games?" And someone was like, "Hey, you should play Vile Illusion." I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Like, whatever, I'll play him. And it was just like, first game, I was just messing around, and like he just like, you know, he's reasonable, so I'll actually try. And then like I lost again, and then the third game I lost. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. And that was a while ago. Since then, we've been playing a lot of games together. We practice. Like, he has been very consistently improving. I obviously don't know his TVZ or his TVZ
Here, hang on,
at all.
Goosey. I think the stream's down.
No, the stream's still up. I actually just hit file new. So I just deleted everything.
Oh, okay, I didn't want you to waste your words, so sorry.
No. Keep going. Keep
But
going.
so yeah, so I don't know how good his other matchups are, but he's really impressed me with his ability to improve and his ability to continue to play well and relatively consistently. Like, he hasn't put it into a high placing in a tournament yet, but I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Like, I expect good things from him. It might be too soon to say that this is a tournament where that will happen, particularly with such a difficult group. I think Stefano and Violet are probably two of the hottest players at the whole event right now. But I don't know.
Yes, and to be honest, you should not forget about Ganzi. I mean, Ganzi is like not one of the players that stands in the spotlight, but he has been consistently getting very good results, and I think he's a very good player.
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
like top 5 Terran or something.
Maybe
Ganzi's-
not top 5, but he's really, really good.
Hmm?
he's been doing really
I don't
well,
know.
except just like he did really well at MLG Spring Arena 1, but then at MLG Spring Arena 2, his performance wasn't as good. Like,
IPL, though, right?
Are
Are we talking about Illusion,
Yeah.
did you say?
No,
No,
Ganzi.
Oh, sorry.
Because Ganzi, he beat MC in Code A like 2 weeks ago, and then he lost to MC at the MLG Spring Arena. So, like, Ganzi's really, really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he made it out, but I don't know. Like, there seems like there's a little consistency thing there. So I don't know if it's going to be the Ganzi that can beat MC and the Ganzi that can get top 6, or the Ganzi that loses to MC and gets a little worse than that.
Fair criticism.
Guys,
Yeah,
just
but
showing
I
the
agree.
game
I guess he's at least a bit of an underdog against both Stefano and Violet, but not a big underdog, I would say.
So I think we
Yeah,
all
I
agree
think-
then.
I think part of it is, too, just the metagame right now, TVZ. It seems like the Terrans are all having a lot of trouble against the Zergs.
Yes.
We're in that metagame phase where it's like something just changed, so
Yeah.
they have to spend this time adapting, which means the win rate dips just a little bit or sometimes a lot. But in this case, I think it's like middle of the ground. It's definitely dipped, but Terrans aren't like not winning, you know?
Ish. I mean, if you look at MLG's Spring Arena 1, Spring Arena 2, Terrans kind of took a nosedive, but obviously that's just one tournament.
Holt monster moded on some Zergs there, though, man.
And he also lost to some Zergs. Like,
Yeah. 2 out of the
Yeah.
top 6 are Terran. Holt beat Symbol, and he beat Dongray Gu. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that it's not like there's no hope. You know, it's not like Terrans can't win.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
Terrans
yeah, no.
were talking about no hope when the 5-Rex Reaper was nerfed, so I don't know. I'm not saying, like, it could possibly be that the buff was too much, but I think, I mean, Terran is a race that can adapt very well,
yeah. I mean, I don't.
and so
I don't
maybe
feel
we
like-
should wait a bit.
I don't feel like it was the buff that kind of skewed the matchup. It wasn't like all of a sudden now Zergs can just like do whatever they want with Queens. It was like Terrans were having trouble against Zerg late game, and now that Queens are a little bit stronger, it's even harder to do damage and win early game. And so now we're being forced into that position that we find most uncomfortable more often.
Yes, because it was all about how much creep you had, because the Terran couldn't push onto creep, and so that gave you more time to get to high-tech units.
Yeah.
And now you can get a lot of creep spread early on. I think it really made a big difference, the creep change, because it was all about the creep in that matchup, in my opinion.
Also, 2 to 4 Hellions won't give absolute map control. Like, you can have your 3 Queens. Zergs are starting to have like 3 or 4 Queens even, and you don't have to go spine crawl against minimal amounts of Hellions anymore. You can actually just walk the Queens out and have your tumors go forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, that could be a little risky. Like, if your 3 Queens are at the front of your creep and 4 Hellions run by you, like, it's bad news, but you can definitely be a lot more aggressive with your Queens and a little lighter on the defense.
Well, that was a catastrophe. Apparently the stream did go down. I lost everything in the show. I had to rebuild the show there while you guys were talking. It was trying times. But let's talk about that Group B, guys. We got Sheth, Tasia, Thorzane, Sase. Sase seems to be kind of the one that getting the most buzz out of this group. But Jeff and Socke, what do you guys think?
Of this group, I don't know, Teja, I think is top contender. Torzane, yeah, I think Torzane should get second place. But maybe Socke can surprise. I don't know, Chef, he's a good player. But once again, he's the American in the group. And also out of the four, probably the weakest player. So, I don't know, I'd put Chef fourth, Socke third, Torzane second, and Teja first. But I think Socke, I don't know, he's been to lots of events, but he hasn't really... I don't know, everybody always keeps talking about how good he is, and I know that he's a very good player, but so far he just hasn't really shown any results at any events, or has he?
For me, this group is like a shark pit, in the sense that I think Chef is heavily advantaged versus Socke. I think you then have
Heavily?
Socke. Yeah.
Like how heavily would you...
Well, not.
Oh,
I mean, okay. When I say heavily, I mean
You know, like heavily 60-40 or something like that?
Yeah, I would say 60-40. Okay, so I
Well,
guess.
I'm not sure, but yes. Okay, maybe.
Wait your turn, DarkForce. No, I'm just kidding. You can talk all the time. I really think Socke has a good chance at beating Teja, and then that leaves Torzane as kind of the middle of the road guy who I think can beat any of those guys, but at the same time can lose to any of those guys. Like, I always want to discount Chef ZBT because for whatever reason he doesn't really stand out to me ZBT, but then he has ZBT results. I'm thinking of like the IPL Fight Club thing where he took on some Korean Terrans numerous times, various events where he's just done well for himself. So this group, I think, like, it has a favorite in certain matchups, but then he has the counter favorite. So I could really see this group going circular.
QXC or DarkForce, do you guys have thoughts? Group B?
Probably Teja, and I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like impartial between Torzane and Socke because
Really?
Yeah, I just don't know between them, but Teja and one of those two.
Yeah, actually, I feel the same. I disagree with Torzane being like a clear second or anything like that. Because Socke beat Puma recently, I think, and I think Socke also beat Bombite on MLG. I think he seems to have very good PvT, and lately PvT has been going more towards Protoss also. And yes, I'm not even sure. Like, I think I might actually see Socke as a small favorite against Torzane, but I'm really it's hard to say. And yes, Chef could pull on upset and get like second or something, but generally I would say Teja is probably the favorite to go first, and then Torzane or Socke for second.
All right, well, moving on
I'm
to...
picking the Terrans, by the way, to put me on record.
Okay. So
Teja won,
and
Torzane 2, but I agree with everything that DarkForce and crew is saying. It could go anywhere.
All right, Group C, Bomber, Ostoji, Huck, and MC. MC, I think, pretty clear favorite in there, but it gets kind of dicey for the second one. Maybe not Ostoji, between Huck and Bomber, I guess.
MC Bomber.
MC Bomber for QXC,
Yeah.
Jeff?
It's interesting. Like, Ostoji's been playing really, really well, but he gets kind of I don't know if he'd say this, but his results at events are a little bit less than what I think he's capable of, so I'm kind of excited to see if he's gotten those butterflies out and if he could shine here. But if he could, this would be like the most ridiculous group to do it in.
Yeah.
You have to, I mean, for whatever reason, you just have to know that MC's going to make it out of that group, right? MC always fucking gets out of groups. He gets out of groups and wins. That's just what he does. It could be an even more stacked group than this, and he would just somehow make it out. So it's going to be MC, and then I think it's between, in my opinion, Bomber or Huck. And unfortunately for Chris, I'd have to give the advantage to Bomber, rather. I think it's going to be really hard for Huck, but I'll be rooting for him, obviously.
Socke?
Yeah, well, MC definitely, and second, I'd also say between Bomber and Huck. But didn't Bomber like play very... I only saw the results today of the up and down matches. Didn't Bomber go like 1-4 or something? Did anyone catch those games?
No, Bomber didn't play today. I'm pretty sure about that.
No, I think a couple of days ago.
Let me look.
And
Yeah, he did. I don't remember the results, but
I just know
Oh
Bomber
yes,
went 1 and
he
3,
went
yeah.
1-3.
But I didn't see the game, so I don't really know what that tells me. But I don't know. We haven't seen too much of Bomber lately, so I don't know. Maybe he hasn't been practicing much, or I don't know. And I guess Socke has been practicing, so I just think it's going to be very close between the two of them.
I personally feel like Bomber is still a favorite against Huck, and yeah, MC and Bomber, I think, are most likely to advance. But yeah, I mean, MC against Huck, it's PvP. I think that's actually like anything can happen.
Huck has a winning record against him in events, I think, actually.
Yeah, I felt like him and Huck and MC had some pretty epic. Didn't they play each other at the past MLG, and it came down to like some weird DT base trade or something like that? Do you remember that, Jeff?
No, that was Naniwa.
That was Naniwa?
Or not, no.
It happened in a bunch of.
That was actually every PvP.
Yeah.
Of the last MLG.
That's what I was gonna say. It happened in so many. I don't know. I don't know which one it was. DarkForce for Group C. Did you give predictions yet?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I
figured that out.
I'm busy fixing the stream or something.
Yeah, Slasher's telling me all this drama that's going on, wants me to talk about it, but anyways, we'll mention it here after this.
I love Slasher.
Slasher just like feed me that drama, man. Shoveling in.
It's good. Get to it.
It'll be fun. Group D is Rhett, Last Shadow, Parting Squirtle. We kind of already talked about this.
Parting Squirtle.
Parting Squirtle, I think, across the board for everyone, right?
Yeah. Maybe Red has a good day, then he could make it somewhere, but I don't know, Party Squirrel.
DarkForce, same for you?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I think Red has a chance to upset either Parting and Squirtle, but yes, like they are definitely the favorites. And I think Squirtle is probably favorite for first, but not sure about that.
Overall
yes,
picks.
Squirtle 3-0 Parting. No, it was.
That was Squirtle 3-0'd Hero in the GSL semifinal.
Oh no, and it was, and yes, Parting lost to MVP, right?
Yes.
That's what.
That group's insane. Squirtle and Parting are so beast mode, man. They're so beast mode. Like Rhett, I think Rhett can compete with him, but because he doesn't play that much, it's actually like a hit or miss Rhett. It's either because he's not practicing that much, he's actually super awesome and amazing for a lot of the reasons you guys were talking about being hungover, like you don't care as much. But then there's the other side of that too, where you can actually lose because you're not practicing that much, so you don't see the builds, you don't know what you're facing, you don't know the players that well. So Rhett's kind of a wild card that way, in my opinion.
Jeff, I guess you'd be the only one that could possibly know this, but are they streaming every match from this event?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because the question I was gonna ask is Last Shadow gonna have a match in here streamed?
That's a fantastic question, JP. Actually, all the games will be streamed on 2 different streams. We have enough casters for everyone to commentate and play the match. It's gonna be fantastic.
Sick. Well, thank you for that. Socke, why'd you reload your camera?
I did.
Okay, I don't even know what you just said.
He's dying.
Zock down, guys. Zock down. So the drama Slasher just fed me is what DarkForce actually just pasted. I guess this just in. MC says, "Fuck NASL, stupid joke, question mark, or sorry, exclamation point. I am out of NASL." Don't know why.
I don't know. Isn't it like very early in the morning? Maybe he had to wait for like 2-3 hours for his.
Know that, like.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what happened. I'm just taking a guess.
Yeah.
When was it posted?
Like seconds ago.
Like 4 minutes ago.
At what time is it now in Korea?
It's about 9 a.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m. I think 9:15 or so.
So, guess what's gonna be number 1 in Reddit, guys? Someone go get that karma.
8:16.
I should actually just go post and tweet it
It's
so I get number 1.
extremely strenuous conditions for Koreans. Like, they have to play cross-server. They have to play at times that are suboptimal. And there's the communication barrier, too. So if they don't have, like, a translator handy, then there's all this like, coordination between their translator, between who they're talking to, the weird time zones. So it's, like, kind of set up to be a really difficult tournament for Koreans. But here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
You're playing a tournament for $100,000 against a mostly non-Korean field. Deal with it. Fucking suck it up and do what you've done the last couple seasons, which is cash in on tens of thousands of dollars because you're playing in suboptimal conditions but still winning because you're so fucking good. Like, you know exactly what you're stepping into. Yes, sometimes it's shit. Yes, sometimes the rulings go against you and things are bad. But it only costs you your time to win tens of thousands of dollars. Like,
Oh, hold on. 37 seconds ago. I'm going to interrupt you, Jeff.
Do it.
NASL show match was supposed on the 3rd after booking flights with the MLG on 2nd. They say now I have to come first or cancel show match.
What happened?
Sorry,
So
that was too
basically
fast.
they-
I didn't
Broken
even
English.
understand.
Let me slow it down. NASL show
told-
match was supposed to happen on the 3rd after booking flights with MLG on the 2nd. They say now that I have to come the 1st or cancel the show match. So it has nothing to do with the actual tournament. It has to do with the
It
show
actually
match.
didn't even cost him money, too.
Yeah.
They pay for those flights. So he doesn't get to do the show match because of, you know, we don't know NASL story, but it's like some kind of logistics thing. They either have to do it then or they can't do it. And he's like, fuck it, I quit NASL because they won't buy my ticket the times that I want to come over and do a show match for them to win $1,500.
I don't know, guys.
I got nothing to follow that up with other than this face right here. Ready? Really? Really, MC?
I don't get it.
We don't know
like,
what
it's
happened
you-
yet. It
Yeah,
must
I
be
agree with
English.
Socke.
Maybe it didn't mean he's quitting the league, or even maybe just wait a bit before
Yeah,
we
I'm
start
sure.
complaining.
The fucking
That's
John
just
hitting on the line
coming out of
now,
his
guys.
day.
Come on. Wait, be safe and conservative. You guys are doing this wrong. You,
No, I'm-
you jump with both feet, you say wildly outrageous things, and then when it's wrong, you don't mention it. You never bring it up again.
There you go. There you go.
Words of wisdom.
I like
Oh,
it.
I'll help you guys.
I've learned so much.
All right. Well, Red Bull Land going down, of course, as Jeff Stay 9 was saying earlier, Saturday and Sunday this weekend. I think tickets are still on sale. It's actually at the Moody Theater, I think is the name of it. It's the place where Austin City Limits is filmed, which is supposed to be a pretty cool venue, so if you're around town, go and check it out. I will probably be in attendance. Jeff?
MC's new tweet is he actually like just figured out the dates actually do work, and he is going to go to LA. I actually stand by everything I said, though. Like going to Twitter about how upset you are, and like I quit NASL. I don't get the show match that I want. It's like, come on, man.
So I'm going to LA June 2nd and wait for start MLG question mark. Wow, ... So happy.
MC, dude, you're like such a fucking good player, and he's one of the Koreans with the best personalities.
You know, Jeff, I think if we started a 24-hour news network with just me and you,
Yeah.
we could actually make
have
some money
Slack.
off that, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Just random shit. We just actually have a link of Twitter open,
Yeah.
and we
let's-
just sit there
Here's the
constantly.
thing, by the way. Let's give Slasher props. Like, some news takes like 15 minutes to key in on. Slasher got that 2 fucking seconds into the tweet. JP, breaking news. I actually can't type this fast enough. Just
Yeah.
tweeted.
I know.
It's good stuff.
We'll get Slasher will be the guy that we send out to like the hurricanes and shit. So he's out there in the middle of the rain, risking his life, and me and Jeff will be in our cush apartments.
It's good that NASL now knows where they stand with MC, though. They're like one misscheduling away from I quit. Fuck it.
No, but
Fuck everything.
the thing is, they just wasted like a week of MC's life. Like, I mean, he's busy traveling to lots of tournaments. He just played GSL. He played MLG before that. So in 2 weeks he's gonna play another MLG, and then now he has to stay in the US for a week, even though maybe we would have liked to be at home for a week or maybe practice.
Home.
No, I was going to the US on the 2nd, then he has to be there doing nothing for a week. Or he thought he was there to play a show match and then stay in the US, but now he just is there without like any reason for him to be there because they fucked up the schedule, or he did. But I don't know, I'd be pretty pissed too. Like if I had been staying at the US like to attend the Red Bull event, and now they tell me I'm not in, and now I'm stuck in the US for a week, even though I got lots of other stuff coming up soon. I don't know, I'd be pissed. So I can understand where it's
It looks
coming
like
from.
that's what we thought was happening, but that's not what was happening. So that's the part where it gets a little bit silly.
Yeah, in the end, we don't really know what happened, and
Well,
we're just speculating.
Slasher, our beat reporter, says he has statements coming from SK Manager Rice and Mr. Bitter official statements shortly. So we'll move on with the show, and our affiliate over at Live on 3 will let us know
Good.
what's going on. I guess GameSpot maybe, but then that's just MLG bias and whatever.
You sound.
We'll see. So let's move on here. GSL Finals happened. MVP versus Squirtle. Same. I think it happened Friday night. I haven't watched the games yet. I've only watched the Mothership Vortex on 20 BCs in Game 5. I think it was on Metropolis.
God, that game was so bad.
Everyone
That was horrible.
Everyone said it was the best game of all time, QXC.
That's because nobody understands how that matchup works.
Talk to me about it.
Which
Okay.
game?
The
Game
fifth
5.
game in the GSL finals
Oh,
between
yeah.
MVP and Squirtle. It was like MVP's clearly his strength is in the early game. Like that's how he won every single game. It was like somewhere before the 15-minute mark, he went in and killed all Squirtle stuff. Okay, so just with that being said, to me it felt like MVP had spent some time laying on his bed and like thought about how you might play TVP late game, but he never actually gets there because he's so good early on. He's like, well, like, all right, Protoss, like, come at me, let's play some games. And he's like, well, if it goes long, like, I'll make BCs. But all his practice partners lose or something. Like, he never gets there. And so you don't just make BCs. That's not a strategy. That's not a thing. It's not a thing in any matchup. Like, if he made 15 BCs and, like, 20 ghosts to actually get good EMPs and kept, like, a bio backbone and had, like, 15 orbitals so he didn't have any SCVs anymore, like, that is a legitimate way to play a TVP late game. But the way he did it, he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just make nothing but battle cruisers. Like, literally nothing but battle cruisers, and then I'll go lose the game. And it just,
No, he
like,
had
I
some
watched
ghosts.
Yeah,
he had like 5 ghosts.
Yeah,
And
not
he
many.
didn't,
no.
10
he
plus.
didn't even
I think.
EMP the mothership. Like, how do you... I don't know. It just
Well,
it just
he
felt
lost-
really sloppy.
He said in
He lost
practice that
because he got
3-3
flanked
battlecruisers
by
don't
a
lose,
ship.
too. Sorry to interrupt, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. He would have won that if he hadn't gotten that vortex. Like the mothership is so slow. I think that
Yeah,
is almost twice as fast. So
he probably
shouldn't be
just didn't expect the mothership to come from that direction.
from
Didn't
the right
notice it.
side. Yeah, and if he doesn't screw it up with the vortex, then I think he's going to win.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not convinced that battlecruiser army would have won in the game even without the vortex.
You can't really kill battle cruisers.
He
I
said
feel.
in practice that he does not lose with 3-3 battlecruisers in Mega Late Game.
Really?
Yeah. He did.
Alright.
He said that in an interview. I agree
Maybe.
with you. Like, there were some silly things about it, but I think you gave the Terran analysis for why that was silly. The Protoss one would be mass recalling onto an island surrounded by missile turrets and a planetary fortress.
Yeah, well, losing the mothership was silly. I think it stayed there for like much longer than it should have.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too, but it was like I've had some brain farts, man. I've done some stupid shit in StarCraft 2. That was actually stupider than anything I've ever done. And there's going to be the 3 13-year-olds in the chat are like, he's better than you! Yes, I know. He's better than me. He's still done something stupider than I've ever done before.
There you go. QXC, the rest of the finals, what'd you think? Any other games that stood out to you?
Yeah, but I guess I didn't see that interview with MVP. Can you put me a link to it so I can read it and possibly be less outrageous?
Links.
Jeff, I've learned too much from you. I took your lessons to heart. I just started saying whatever I felt.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit dumb. I might have to just try making battle cruisers.
The next listen is to gracefully be like, yeah, but I stand by what I say. You just got to end it with that one.
Yeah, definitely if he had EMP'd that mothership. I
Or
thought it
split
was
up his
really...
battle cruisers like Zergs do it all the time with Broodlords.
Yeah. I just
They
thought it was
should.
really interesting how MVP was able to find ways to win in like sections of the game where there isn't like a timing. It wasn't like bio and medevac finish and he went and killed Squirtle. It was like 8 Marines were randomly on the map and like Squirtle moved out and then he lost all his probes and like that was the game. That was how it ended. And so I thought it was really cool the way MVP was putting his units in interesting parts of the map and kind of exploiting what Squirtle was doing. And then I thought it was also really interesting to see that Squirtle actually just has a very solid PvT, like mid to late game.
I was really happy with the finals. Like, how sad was, like, when there was cheese at the end, I was like, oh, it's going to be a GSL final where, like, Squirtle has this amazing comeback, but then it ends with just some stupid cheese. But then there's that moment when Squirtle kind of holds it off, and you go, oh, shit? Is he going to do it, the greatest comeback ever? And then, like, the only way that I'm happy with that finals is that MVP then turns it around with the most simple yet fucking brilliant move that nobody else does, which is to pinch that one Zealot and Stalker by flanking them. and that was the coolest like way for that game to end I think I could ever imagine. Like, if you were to tell me that there's a 2-Rax in the grand finals, I'd be like, well, I don't need to see that. That sounds like a stupid game. But if you would have missed out on that game and not watched it live or seen how it went down, then you missed out on. It's like watching Avatar without seeing the 3D, man. It's not as cool.
Don't go watch Avatar. Don't feed that.
Unless you have an amazing...
Oh, I thought you were talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, man. My bad. You're talking about the James
one of the
Cameron
blue
movie.
people in
Okay, do go see the Blue People movie. Sorry. Socke or DarkForce, do you guys have any thoughts on the GSL finals?
Well,
haven't watched
I
all the
didn't
games
watch all the
yet.
games yet, so I can't say all too much. And I'm Zerk, and PVT is, I don't know, I find it kind of boring to watch, to be honest. Yeah.
Zoc, what were you saying? You didn't see all the games either, Zoc? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't see all the games either. I do like PVT, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine to watch. I think they both screwed up at a couple of points, which is to expect it in StarCraft 2. But I know I had fun watching it so far. Maybe it wasn't the best series of all time. I liked it. Nothing else.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the up and downs for GSL. They've been going on, and are they actually... No, there's still one group left. Group D played last night. MC ended up winning that 4-1. Trying to think of some of the big stuff here. What is going on with Jockg, QXC? Why is he so bad now? What's going on with him?
I think Jockg, kind of the way I interpret that is Jockg figured some stuff out. He probably had a really good environment. He had a really good rhythm, and we saw that basically culminate in the GSL finals that he won. And for whatever reason, that kind of got disrupted, maybe with the travel and things. Like, Jockg's not bad. He's just not playing at the level that we expected him to, because he had such a huge rise. It was like basically all of a sudden,
just won.
You know, hey, I'm Jockg, I'll win GSL, no big deal. And then after that, he's like basically down to Code B. I would expect in a month, maybe a couple of months, he'll kind of figure out what he was doing right and get that back, and really we'll see him rise up again.
Let's see. Curious actually 4-0ing his group. Did you watch any of those games, DarkForce, or have any thoughts about Curious?
No, that group I didn't see. But I kind of disagree on Jockg. I think he is still a really good player. But to win a GSL, you also need a lot of luck. And I think he didn't have as much luck anymore now. It's quite possibly that he doesn't actually play worse now than he did before. It's just all often a matter of luck, and variance is so huge, especially in Korea, because I think there's really like 100 players, well, maybe 100 is exaggerated, but like 50 players or so who have like a shot at winning GSL, but it's very small, you know, but sometimes someone comes out of nothing and just wins. And yes, I really think it's a lot about luck in GSL and in StarCraft in general. And so I think, yeah, it really could just be a matter of luck.
Looking at Group E tonight, Marine King, Bebon Killer, MMA Ace, and Heart. The 3 Terrans in that group, one of them's not going to make it out. That's pretty stacked. Who do you think it's going to be, QXC, as the Terran here on the show?
I think Marine King
will be the one that doesn't make it out?
No, is the one to make it out.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't actually hear your question then.
Just like, okay. Sounds good.
Beyond that, I'm not really sure. Like, Hart's been doing really well abroad,
right?
But we haven't seen as much of him out of the GSL. Like, I really would like him to do well. That would be good for the team, good for all of us. But the other players are all really strong as well. I feel like Marine King's really got something to prove with this up and down match. He won an MLG, got second place at an MLG, decided not to attend the most recent MLG for I don't know what the deal was, but he didn't go.
He probably wanted to practice and going to an MLG from Korea is probably quite tiring.
Yeah,
and he probably cares more about GSL than about an MLG.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Spring Arena prize pool was not like super big.
Right.
I mean, it was good, but
it was actually that DarkForce. He didn't want to travel. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was tired. He's been traveling the
Understandable.
entire time.
I-
He lost his last GSL matches because of MLG as well, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Socke there.
Yeah.
I watched his. He had to play his series against. It was like his group stages or whatever. Something like 8 hours or like 6 hours after he got him back in Korea.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
if you watch those games, like it's just not the Marine King that you would expect. Like lots of really questionable decisions that just seem influenced. It's just like he's tired. He wasn't able to play as well as he could have. And then he lost to Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Like not too long
Yu-Gi-Oh!
after.
He
So,
lost.
I bet Marine King's been really going hard at it, and we'll see some really good things from him.
What about MMA? QXC, what's going on with him? He's not in a slump or anything like that, but his previous tournament results haven't really been the MMA that we all knew towards the end of 2011.
I mean, kind of. He did just win the Iron Squid, though.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And I mean, do you remember who he had to beat there?
yeah,
Symbol.
right. Yeah, it was simple.
Alive and ST 3-2 and 4-2. No, Alive and Simple. Sorry.
Symbol. Yeah.
Simple.
And Symbol just got second. Like I don't know. MMA has been a little up and down for sure. It'll be interesting to see which MMA we get in the upcoming group stages.
And then Nesty 3-0 in Group A. Ghost King getting through. JYP not making it through. Jeff, did you check those out?
I did not. I mean, I was up that night, but I think I had to go do something, so I missed the games themselves.
Shame on you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Shame on you for doing something.
Anna's actually killing me because there were so many great GSL groups that I stayed up for like 5 days in a row until like 5 a.m. actually.
Well, is the other... Yeah, I guess the next GS Group E tonight, Marine King beat Von Killer MMA Ace Hart, goes down, I think, around 3 or 4 a.m. Eastern. You can check it out at gomtv.net. The last thing I want to talk about here, but as we buy time waiting for Slasher to give us these statements that we're all so very anxiously waiting for, the patch changes and kind of the afterthoughts. Jeff, you mentioned it earlier. We had 3 Zergs in the top 6 in MLG, and I want to talk to DarkForce first about this. These patch changes are kind of changing a lot with such subtle changes. What do you think about the changes first off, and how are they really affecting the game all around?
Well, to me personally, it's like Zerg, it feels like it's a different race after that. It's a lot of fun because you can scout and you can spread creep. Like it feels completely different. Like how you can play the race against mostly against Terran. Against Protoss, it's also changed a bit, but I think against Protoss it's a lot less. And yeah, really, like ZVT changed completely for me. Previously, I didn't like no-gas openings with 4 queens that much because there was a lot of things that could go wrong because you don't have circling speed. But now with the additional range on queens, they are just so much better at fighting. Like Marines, Hellions, it even helps against 2-racks. And yes, like it really was a very, very big change. Like it feels like the biggest buff Zerg ever got since, like, I don't know, over a year. Even more than the Infestor buff to me personally. Yeah.
Jeff?
I mean, I kind of already hit on this earlier, so I just want to give it a real quick go again. But like,
Sure.
I don't think people should jump on the imbalance train just yet because I think this stuff constantly happens.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. No, they shouldn't jump on that. But yeah, it's very big change.
And like I think it's just the metagame kind of ebbing and flowing right now. I like the Overlord change. I think everyone would agree on that. I think the challenge will be if QXC agrees with that. Sometimes he thinks he's actually smarter than most of us. I'm not even saying that sarcastically. He actually is. So I would want to hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah.
The Queen range is a little bit severe, but that's kind of standard. And I from the Protoss perspective, so obviously I'm on neither side of the fence, right? I'm completely outside of it. ZVP-wise, it's cool because it does a lot better. Like Zealot Harass used to be really strong. They're a lot better against that. Warp Prism was a big issue for Zerg players, but now Queens are a much better response to what comes out of Warp Prism. By no means am I saying that they are the answer, so don't get, obviously a Queen's not going to hold off an entire Warp Prism attack, but it's just better at it. And in ZBT, I do think that Hellions were doing way too much comfort protection for Terrans in the early game, and now the Queen allows for them to have a little bit more of a, like, yeah, you can take a risk to really punish me, but if you're playing conservative, I too can play conservative, and now we're going to come out about even here. And I think that's pretty cool.
Well, QXC, we're all kind of waiting for what you have to say as the smart one on this show. What do you think about the changes to Zerg, man, and how do they affect the TVZ matchup for you and just at large?
Yeah, I mean, the kind of the interesting thing about Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Zerg is until Terran gets stim shields, some upgrades, medevacs, our bio is not really cost efficient against anything. Like against Protoss, Zealot, Stalker, we can't really attack that very easily. Like if you get 10 or 15 Marines and like 5 Marauders, you can do decent things, maybe combat shields. But like Marines against Zealots, Marines against Stalkers, you're not really cost efficient. And so it's kind of the same with Zerg. Like you're not cost efficient against Speedlings unless you have Stim or you get Hellions. So like we're kind of forced to make Hellions, but Zergs have started doing this thing where they just take their Queens and walk it over to the 3rd. And like just take an expansion off of Queens, which is it's kind of frustrating to deal with because you can't really pressure with your bio because like if you walk across the map and they have speed, you're not really doing good things there.
I kind of know that feeling from somewhere.
I mean, wait, shame on you, Socke, you imbalanced son of a bitch.
But I think the biggest thing the Queen change is going to do is it's either there's basically 2 ways to approach it. One is I want to try and be more comfortable with playing as a later game against Zerg because that's essentially what it does. Like the Queen change allows Zergs to put it into a mid or late game easier because they're safer against more things. And so as a Terran player, I can learn to adjust to that and be like, okay, that's fine. Like take your fast third. I'll also take a fast third, and we'll play a longer later game. Or I come up with new ways to be aggressive, and it's not like because just Reactor Hellion is not giving us the same power that it used to, and I don't know what it is. Like I feel like there are ways to play a late game as Terran, but it doesn't seem like there's any Terran players who are willing to do it. Like I can name a bunch of like just from what I watch.
Sad.
Wait, DarkForce. Wait a second.
Yeah, I mean,
wait a second. Hold on.
Okay.
I need to
You
clarify.
can finish talking first. Yeah.
Let me just clarify that point. Like, players like Night End, Todd, from Zerg, there's a number of NA Zergs that I know of, who specifically aim for the late game. They specifically play a safer, more conservative early and mid game so that they can get to a late game that's really strong. I can't think of any Terran player that does that.
Happy.
Except for somebody in TBT. Thorzane does?
Yeah.
And I've seen MMA do that too against Zerg, to be honest, and then go for stuff like Ghost Drop, or generally, I think nukes are very good against Zerg in late game, and well, I remember games from MMA where he did like Ghost nuke drops, because if you and also like going for very big drops with like 5 medivacs or so. Of course, that's a big risk, no doubt about it. But I think Terrans have gotten better at abusing the immobility of Broodlord armies, because you kind of, I mean, a Broodlord army is as fast as a mech army, I would say, and you can also abuse the immobility of mech, and that's how you have to play against it. So I really think people need to learn more about how to move their units, and maybe there's a few maps that are imbalanced in that case because you can't move around. But on many of the new maps that are really quite big, and there's multiple ways, it's really possible to circumvent a Broodlord army, and then it gets really tricky. And I think right now it's not possible to say yet how that will turn out, because I've seen games where Zergs just, they attacked at some point with their Broodlord army, and Terran just went around and killed bases. And, then it gets very tricky.
DarkForce, can I cut in for a second? What do you have to your left?
No, I was about what are you looking at, DarkForce?
I feel like you're talking to your dead parents that you murdered or something like that. Like, you have them set up at the table and you're like, Yes, they know to be silent when I talk, or they will die again.
No, never mind.
What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at a second screen here.
Ah, damn it! That's a practical response. I was hoping you'd say like the wall or something.
No, I have.
This is what you must do in TVZ against the Brutalort army.
I love that Demosim just running down the stairs.
I actually looked at the right time. Yeah, he's dressed like a clown.
Oh god, this motherfucking show.
He like had his birthday a month ago and just realized he's British and he's dressed like a cross-dressing clown or something like that.
I can't wait to see the gif of that. That was pretty funny. QXC.
Sorry. Yeah,
go ahead.
QXC was about to respond by the way, and I totally cut him off.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, I mean, like what DarkForce was saying was how Terran players play the late game. I'm not saying Terran players can't play the late game. What I'm saying is that there are very few, if any, there are very few Terran players that will aim for a late game. Their entire plan is based around getting to the late game. Like, MMA can play the late game, but he's not sitting back and taking a bunch of bases and playing passive. Like, he's always dropping and attacking. And then, like, there was a game at IPL where he was playing Stefano, and he got to a point where he was like, okay, I don't feel like I can actually attack you head-on cost-efficiently, so then I'm going to start nuking. But it wasn't like MMA's game plan from the beginning was, like, to rush to nukes against Hive, or, like, to mass battle cruisers. The way that some Zergs, like, literally, some Zergs, their game plan is make infestors, get Hive, get 4 bases, make 20 spine crawlers, make 50 broodlords. Like, that is the plan. And there are
Yes, of course, but the thing is, the way Zerg plays, it's simply, you know, it's very different, because with Zerg you can always invest everything into just economy, basically. And, well, that doesn't work so well with Terran, you know. And that's why Terrans, like, that's why it makes sense to be aggressive and to make the force the Zerg to get something other than drones and tech. And yeah, so I don't know, like, yes,
well,
I know what you mean. Like, Terrans don't just aim for a late game, but yes, I don't know. Like, I mean, the game is like, there have been times before when people were saying, "Oh yeah, no way." Like, Protoss has been saying, like, "Oh, there's no way to win late game against Zerg," but by now I thought the same, that actually, like, once you get enough broodlords and infestors, you win, but I'm not so sure anymore. Yeah.
It's just, like, as a Terran player, because of what you were just saying, how Zerg can always just go as hard as they want on economy, I don't feel particularly motivated or interested in trying to play a late game. And so when changes like the Queen come around that kind of make me reassess, like, do I want to play a late game? The answer is always no, 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 no late games, never. And
yes, but that's actually a very bad way to approach the game, because if you're known to be a cheesy American, then I think it's a very good platform for a late game.
Whoa!
I'm sorry to say that so blunt, but that's how it is.
Cheesy American, will you?
I mean, there's a difference between
I will storm.
cheesing.
I mean,
you're like,
have
oh, I'm
nothing
going to go
against
all
cheese.
in now.
I think it's very good to be good at cheesing and such. And I'm bad at it, and that really sucks. And I cheese a lot to learn it, but I'm just saying, you just have to mix it up, and
Oh, no.
be able to play both ways.
There's a difference between cheesing, like going all in, trying to do something tricky, and just playing a pressure-based game. To the point where, like, you're trying to be aggressive the whole time. Like, I don't feel like I have particular advantages in the late game as a Terran player. Like, maybe that's just the way I look at it. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of things you can do late game, but I don't really like them. The end. I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah.
Well, DarkForce stopped looking at you, so I had to make the screen back to normal. It didn't really, Jeff. Is there anything else really afterthoughts about the patch? I guess the biggest change is just CBT's kind of.
Bears mentioning the observer change is interesting.
Is that fair? I mean, is it doing
build
anything?
time on Robo is one of the spots where Protoss could potentially get exploited. So DTs appearing, cloaked banshees, that kind of stuff. But also, what doesn't get as much coverage or discussion is that if you lose an observer or you need to make multiple observers, building them in between Colossi or Immortals is kind of an expensive endeavor because it really prolongs not necessarily the observer, but rather the unit you need to get to as the backbone of your army. So when they decreased that timing, it just kind of overall made Protoss Robotech, but also scouting significantly better, but then also the responses to things like Cloak Banshees or DTs, which became really popular in PvP. So nobody was asking for it, but all the Protoss players are just going to kind of silently be thankful and like be like, okay, yeah. Any others you got, kicking around? They're like, well, we're kind of toying with making Stalkers do 2 more damage, and we'd be like, okay, take
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't be okay with that. Blink Stalker all in every game. GG.
And what do you think about it, Stalker?
I think it's fine like this.
Damage.
Yeah, no, but
The
don't you think
Vikings have like double DPS with the Stalker on ground. I mean, that's
double?
But for the patch, yeah, I think like double.
Wait, what does? What has
They are
double
also
DPS?
like much slower.
I know, I compared it a while ago, but I was pretty surprised to look at
What
the DPS.
units are we talking about?
Landed Viking and Stalker.
I can
Anyway,
tell
what
you right now,
about?
there's a website that has things like this.
Yeah, I know. I checked a while ago. I was surprised at the results, but we were just talking about. Well, I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
PvP.
no, you're right.
You can. You
Landed
can.
Viking
You can.
is about double the DPS. That's pretty surprising.
Well, yeah. You can't really scout Zergs anymore. I just wanted to throw that in there because it's impossible not to kill a probe with a queen. Like even if it just stands there and even if you slide out of position, the probe just dies. So getting early game scouting against any kind of Zerg call-ins is kind of it's gotten harder. And even before the patch, Zerg was able, if they wanted to, they could send in 2 overlords and scout everything, so they know what's coming. If they screwed up a bit, or if something went really bad, then maybe they didn't see the tech orders was coming for. Now they always see everything. They can get to every spot. There's still all those spots above the natural where the overlord can hide it, everything. So, I don't know, for PvZ, Zerg scouting was already very good, and Proto scouting kind of sucked. And I feel like that's gotten even a bit worse. It's no huge, I don't know, it's not a huge deal, but I don't know, I just like it. Zerg was able to get up to 200 supply in 11 minutes before the overlords could see everything without dying, and I don't know, I think that just got a bit worse. Because the only, like, the big chance we had was doing something that surprised the Zerg. Like, if Zerg played with map pack, we would never win a game against them, I feel. And, I don't know, it's changed a bit in that direction.
Jeff, shaking your head, you agree?
PvZ is interesting right now. I definitely agree with a lot of what he said. There's certain 2-base timings where you need to have your probe get in and see if there's like a lair that's up at his main hatch, or if it's not, obviously, which would be a different kind of 2-base all-in altogether. So that becomes a little bit harder. Mostly, like, I don't want to put words in Socke's mouth, so I don't know how dire he's making. It sounded like he was really down on this. I'm actually pretty okay with it because I think scouting Zerg did need a buff there. Not necessarily ZVP, but more ZVT. I feel like there's a lot of scenarios where Zerg just flat out has no fucking idea what's going on inside that Terran base, and we've seen, like 3 command centers off of 1 Rax and 2 Marines type of stuff. So for that to be opened up a little bit better, I'm pretty okay with that. If that comes at the cost of Protoss not being able to hide things like 2 Stargates or a Dark Shrine as well, they still can hide those things, but they can't do it as well, then I think that's an acceptable tax on the Protoss for the sake of the game being a little bit better. And then as far as Queen range goes, like I said, he was talking a lot about scouting, and I definitely agree with how that's an issue, but at the same time, with increased Warp Prism play and with Protoss like walking off 2 or 3 Zealots out of their non-Warp Gate gateway and then doing things like grabbing towers but then also pressuring hatches, I really felt like the Queen became more necessary there. But I think this is also another example where I really like it in ZVT, and maybe it's not as good ZVP, but it's an acceptable tax so that ZVT can get better, in my opinion, again.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Personally, in ZVP, I really don't feel it changes that much. Yes, it makes it a bit easier to scout things, but really, like, the big change is CVT in that case. Like, CVP, yeah, a little bit, but really, I really don't feel like it's that big of a change. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe it's worth it for TVZ, but I don't really know that matchup. And I just felt that that change wasn't necessary for the TVZ matchup.
Well, I'm done fucking around with graphics, guys. I think it's time to end the show.
No.
Well, I actually do have an update from my GameSpot esports reporter from Mr. Bitter. We have a statement. Jeff, would you like to do this in your best Southern voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Copy paste that.
Put that statement in the chat real quick.
I'll have to translate it too on the fly. So if there's a couple of, I apologize if this isn't my best performance.
There you go. That's it.
Well, we had ourselves a bit of a pickle. There was some miscommunication in the bookings of MC's flight for Sunday Showdown. And ASL did not communicate very clearly the situation, and MC was told that the match was canceled. MC was planning to cancel the show match and drop out of NASL entirely. NASL and SK managed rise and have now talked it over with MC, and MC will play the show match and the league, which means all has returned under the golden sun of God's green earth. May Jesus Christ watch over.
Amen.
Perfect. We've resolved that shit. MC's playing in the NASL. All's right in the world. And that's going to do it for State of the Game. We got sponsor shout-outs to go through. QXC, what headset are you wearing? Where can people check you out?
I'm wearing the Wraith Creative headset. Thing's wireless. I don't know if you noticed that. It's pretty sick.
I can't hear
And,
you. I think your headset just died, QXC.
Okay. No way.
I can't.
We're good,
wireless
QXC. Keep
headset,
going,
but
man.
we already discussed that earlier.
So mean. And just a shout out to my team, Complexity, and our sponsors. Wait for it. Sound Blaster, Gamma Gamers, QPad, PNY, Creative, Origin, Crash the System, and I think that's all of them. And yeah, check me out on Twitter, ColeQXC. Check me out on Facebook, QXC. Check me out on Twitch, QXC. I don't know, ColeQXC. It's something like that.
Hold on, are you going to live in the house that Complexity is making? Or?
Yeah.
You have a fucking boat, man. What the hell?
We have
That's
a boat.
so
That's
fucking
so
awesome.
sick.
You didn't even see the pictures of it, did you?
We have pictures.
Oh my God,
Kevin.
QXC. The school
All right,
ended.
let me tell you this. They are going to renovate it. Like the rat issue, the whole like no walls in between the bedrooms. They're gonna put up the walls. They're at least gonna.
Okay. I mean, as long as there's like a curtain,
Yeah.
or someone who stands guard between the bedrooms, that seems fine.
There is a curfew because a lot of shootings go on after 6 p.m. But
Well, I
as
mean,
long
it's
as
Houston,
you're
so
inside the
fuck.
house and behind the barrier by no later than 7, you should be okay. Like it's not. They've gone down to 1 death a day, so it should be okay.
Okay, that's
Oh, here we go.
that's reasonable.
Also, what do you know what Gamma Labs are? Can you talk about this some? Do you know who they are? Why they're sponsoring your house?
Is that an energy drink?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But
Kevin,
this is
you
the
don't know.
house you're going to be living in, man. What in the fuck? You have your own little boathouse?
Jason Lake doesn't fuck around, man.
You got a little boat?
Gamma Labs is like a
Wow.
what are the athletic supplements.
What are they
Oh,
currently?
well, shit. We need to have a talk about that then on the next State of
So
the Game.
Jeff, I mean, it might be something you've been using.
That would be quite the turnaround.
There you go. There you go.
I don't think that would upset anyone. We don't
I
have
don't
any
think so.
sponsors for that.
Here's click here to see. I gotta show you guys a picture of the boathouse. You have a pontoon boat. It's quite large. Why do you have this?
Jesus
QXC?
Christ. You guys
What?
could play a clan war from the river.
Yeah.
Jealous?
True.
That'd be fucking awesome. Not jealous at all. I'm happy for you guys. It's been a while since anything good's happened to Complexity. So, like, for this to go on,
Oh God. Here comes. Look at
I
that.
have. Listen, I am actually jealous of the house.
at
Is
that.
really nice. You guys went by water. We got a house in Arizona where there is no water. So the contrast there maintains. I have a segue for you guys for the shout-outs from Team Alternate Attacks here that we're going to have with DarkForce and Socke.
Yeah.
They are going to have their match broadcasted tonight on EGMCS
Ooh.
against Millennium. And, gentlemen, you've already played these matches. Am I going to get to commentate some good matches, or did you guys play like shit?
I think mine were rather interesting.
Okay, you played Feast. Feast is effing good. DarkForce, you played Die-Star. Is that going to be a good match?
I think it was okay.
You can't tell if he won when he says something like that.
Yeah.
You guys are good at this.
We're pretty good, man. It's like you guys made him sign a contract not to talk about the
Yeah,
games.
no,
or
it
something,
wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like great matches either, I'd say.
Also, I'm going to request that you guys, when you do your show matches, give us information on the German state of the game that you're both a part of,
Yeah.
which I'm hearing a lot about.
Yeah.
Yes, well, right now you can just go to sc2pro.de, but well, it's a German page and it will forward you to Takes page where we are now. And yes, I don't know when we will do the next episode, but yes, if you speak German, then definitely go there and we will post the news.
I got a wait, hold on. Can you translate for this?
I just posted it in Skype.
No, I put it on
And
there. How do you say
Yeah.
that? Is that the name of
Oh.
your show? What?
No, that's like, we just made like a blog post and there we post when we do one of our casts.
So what is this the name of the show? Zinecast?
Scenecast.
Scene.
Scene just means scene, so cast for the German scene.
Scenecast.
There are like five or six players, I don't know, depending on who's around and
I've heard great things, man.
Yeah.
logged in. Yeah, I think content-wise it's much better than this show, but unfortunately it's the wrong language for most of the viewers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, if you ever want to learn German, maybe today is a good day to start.
Do you guys have
Check out all the VODs.
Yeah, do you guys have any plans of doing a English show?
We were talking about it like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and was
Were you
like,
talking
yeah,
about it in English, though, or German?
Yeah.
we were talking about doing an English show in German, and then we agreed upon doing it at one point, just trying it for an episode, because, I don't know, it might get a bit weird, like if you're all Germans usually talking German together in a show, and then you're suddenly switching to English.
Yeah.
Just like the chemistry might change a bit, but yeah.
Yes, not everyone's English is that good. For
Socke,
example,
what do you think of the road range change? Yeah, I find it to be quite complicated. DarkForce, how do you find the observer alternate change for us? The alternate observer speed change has rated me at quite the difference. I find it to be excellent. Delphi, how do you find the German scene at this moment? Yeah, German scene's quite good right now. Very good. I would tune into that every fucking day, every hour, every minute of my life. I would pay so much money to have Socke with his silky smooth chocolate voice behind me, just like mumbling in German English.
Jeff, we didn't even talk about this much. I actually had a magical experience on Sunday night, man. I got to witness Socke, Goody, and Lemon Pink sing Barbie Girl together at karaoke.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
Is that how it went?
A little bit,
No,
yeah.
of course I did the other part. I just helped her out a bit. And
Come
I
on,
think it went
Barbie,
really well.
let's go party.
I
Right?
know, it's much deeper than that.
Well, give me evidence, Socke. How did it go?
No, I'm not going into it.
Well, you
Son
better
of a
give
bitch.
me some
Sorry.
money, Zoc, or I'm releasing the video.
Do you know how valuable it is for you to sing that right fucking now?
Legends.
Nah.
You're gonna save it for your German Zinecast or some shit.
Scene.
Szene.
Yeah.
And you should work on your French pronunciation as well. Like the laissez-faire.
That's good. You're right.
I mean, my French
Yes.
sucks, but...
Yes, Delphi flamed you in our German chat.
What?
Really?
I always talk that guy up. He flamed me?
No, but I think he was. Wait, yes, it was him. I think. Let me
What'd he say?
scroll up here.
What did he say, DarkForce?
Yes, he said that you mispronounced laissez-faire.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that. Jesus.
okay.
My heart stopped there for a second. I was like, Delp's this nice little, like, elven man, and for him to say something mean about would really hurt my feelings, but... Yeah, I actually mispronounce English words all the time, so
Yeah.
I take no offense to that.
Exactly. Exactly. Who else is on that show with you guys, so people know?
Well, last time Torzane was there for a bit because his German was
For an hour or so.
quite good.
Yeah.
Yes, Hasu Ops, Reen, Delphi, and Nomi sometimes, I guess. Yes, I think that's it. No, DBS.
Yes,
But
yeah, he also joined it at some point.
SC2Pro.de.
But Delphi isn't a nice guy. He's like the worst troll I know.
yeah, he's just whining about balance all the time. I
That's
mean,
what I
he's
like.
Zerg, but it's
Yep.
too much, really.
Who?
Oh,
Delphi.
nothing.
Delphi whines about balance? Really? That's stupid.
Yeah, you don't know. Anyway, I think that's enough about...
What
doing
about your
at,
sponsors, guys? Give us some
shout
shout outs to
out?
your sponsors and shit.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Cinecast. Anyway, thanks to Team Alternate for supporting
You should
me.
let DarkForce do
and
this.
also DarkForce.
Sock.
Okay, DarkForce,
Yes,
go ahead.
because your voice is a bit hard. Yes. Yeah, well, our main sponsor is Team Alternate, which is a German hardware seller. And yes, just check out team-alternate.de. Again, if you can read German, because there's very little English content on that page. Yeah.
Sweet.
Sweet. Jeff.
Okay.
so roll us out.
I have a lot of
Seal the
stuff.
deal.
Immediately after this, well, at 6 o'clock, so it's 1 hour, I'll be casting EGMCS alongside Azael, so do tune in. We're going to have these two fine gentlemen going up against Feast and Diastar, but also the rest of Millennium, including Cloud against Stefano, and that should be a fun match. So do tune in for that. I will be at Anaheim, where I will play in the WCS, and you know, if you're going to attend Anaheim, come say hi. I would love to meet you. So that's that. I will hope nothing. It's. Oh no, I'm not going to say that yet. I've been streaming. Been doing EG practice, iNcontroL TV on Twitch TV. So tune into that. Follow me on Twitter, EG iNcontroL. Like my Facebook fan page. Just search for iNcontroL on there if you have the time. And then also, I think tomorrow's the last day of voting. So Anna asked me for a special shout out. Please do vote for the Maxim Girl thing. Look for Anna Prosser on there.
Yep.
Even if you've already voted for her, you can actually do a daily vote, so she'd love it if you guys would help her out. She's in 5th place right now.
Where's Hotbit at?
Eliminated. They removed the guys.
Oh.
Took them a little while to do that, but they did. Outside of that, you know, I appreciate everyone. A lot of times I yell at people or I say funny stuff, and not everyone agrees with my humor or the way I say things or how blunt I am, but at the end of the day, I have some of the best fans in the whole frickin' planet, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much. I'm living the dream, and I wouldn't be doing it without you guys. That's for damn sure. So thank you.
There you go. HandsomeNerd.com. Go crash that website. Need to get that in.
Yes.
Check out Real Talk Episode 2, actually, with Idra. I recorded that last night. You can find it over at youtube.com/itmeJP. Getting a lot of response from the community about that. Thank you guys. I'm gonna continue to do those. Just got to find the right people for it. What else? I guess that's about it. I could do the MLG spiel. Just go to MajorLeagueGaming.com though, and they'll do it for you. I guess that's about it. QXC, can I come stay in y'all's house in Houston?
I don't know. Do you have Kevlar?
Do I have Kevlar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
There's
live
that
in
stuff.
Houston. I run strapped, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, seems
Thank you
like
to you guys.
Sit down.
Yeah.
By the way, QXC, you have a huge fan base that always appreciates when you're on, and everyone was ranting and raving that Socke and DarkForce added a lot. So thank you guys for being here, because very rarely do we get to have 3 different guests, but you guys all blended to make this an awesome show. Dare I say, better than that German one, both content-wise and entertainment value.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the fact that it was in English, guys. Round of applause.
Yeah, that means we can actually communicate with everyone, not just Germany.
Yeah, very good.
And now it's
Interesting.
time to mute Socke and DarkForce so they can't defend themselves.
So they have no rebuttal.
We'll see you guys next time here on State of the
You
Game.
could say you're even putting a sock in it.
Have a good night.
Good night. Or good day,
Gotta
or
say,
good evening, whatever you have it there.
Play
Over.
UT 5 p.m. Let's give the audience.
Good day then.
God damn it, Jeff.
What?
Can't believe you ended on that joke.
Apparently looks like I was right by the way. I can't confirm or deny that.
We got
Thanks,
30
you-
seconds to kill while the show intro plays, guys.
So intro?
That the
What?
stream chat tried to ban him, but a misfire hit somebody else.
I don't even know the results for our match against Landon, to be honest.
The stream's still live, Socke, don't talk.
And tell me too.
I just said
I
I don't-
gotta keep talking real loud.